Fuck.
this video.
Of course, I walk
Your
into it
young and
again
defiant
because
king,
I'm an
Yumesuke
idiot.
Stashika here. I saw a video talking about how One
Oh,
Piece
this
sucks,
dude?
and I
Oh,
actually
crap.
agree.
Yes, that's what he said.
Well, I forgot the dude. Look, his voice will always haunt my nightmares, but his name will always fade away.
She said
Okay?
his name is
He's
Yumesuke
that weird.
Sure.
Like, I know
One
I say that Trans a robot, but this dude is a robot.
video talking about how One Piece sucks, and I actually agree. One Piece is what I'd call valley fiction, the opposite of peak fiction. The story is just childish. How is it childish? Well, you can read or watch it yourself to find out. Why should I provide?
Isn't
I will
young
not
defined?
explain.
That's gonna be too long, right? It's gonna be way too long. Don't forget, hey Leo, don't forget to like and subscribe
I
his
don't,
video. Like and subscribe his video.
I don't care.
Provide examples to back up my
Wow.
arguments. It's also very repetitive. Once again, I will not provide any concrete examples to support my claim. Insulting
Okay,
my
I really
opponents
think
makes
he's
my
just
argument
joking,
stronger. So
Alright, this is a joke.
Because of these arguments like
Yeah,
this,
this
I think it's a
it
trollish
really
channel.
feels like a troll. I think we should just stop it. I think we should
this
stop the
was
video.
enough
It really feels like he's just gonna say
defined
nothing.
video, then he's
Pointless
either
stuff.
dumb or also trolling, and he's also trolling. Let's hear it still.
let me do that. It's called an ad hominem, and the philosopher Plato said that it ensures victory in a logical debate.
Plato.
Anyone who likes this story that I don't must be an idiot. Only mainstream YouTubers review this overhyped garbage. Because it's mainstream, that means it's bad. Because popularity is inversely proportional to quality. All of the fans are stupid. Every single fan is a high schooler who can barely type a comprehensive sentence. That's not an overgeneralization based on my experiences. That's just a fact. Also, adults can't like shonen. If you are an adult and you enjoy a story that is aimed at an audience younger than
Okay,
adults,
this is just
you are
trigger. This is just
This is
like
a
it's just the
young
fact that
defined
it's just
clone,
like
yes.
you're a fucking weirdo if you do this. You're just
I don't think you guys.
as
So,
he
uh,
get
think
into
you guys-
as he gets into the weirdo shit. Like
So story is childish, but adults can't like shonen. It's weird.
again, this just feels too stupid to be true. But again, it's just you just people who are genuine. So
I'm now seeing Robin caress Frankie's lamb chops. Very cool. Wait, that's side.
If this was a triggered video, it would be serious points.
He's trying to do a young defiant response video, and yeah, he's doing what young defiant does, and trolling more or less. I mean, I looked up the video, and for whatever reason, people actually agree with what he's saying, even though I'm pretty sure that's a troll video. So, yeah, people are stupid.
stupid. If you enjoy superhero movies like The Dark Knight or Iron Man, there's something wrong with you. If you enjoy classic and timeless Pixar movies, you have issues and you need to grow up, because you can't continue liking something that you liked as a kid when you become an adult. And stories that are aimed at kids can only be enjoyed by kids. Everyone knows that. One Piece fans think they're above others, which makes the anime bad. Now for the characters. Luffy is just a ripoff of Goku. He's exactly the same. They both have black spiky hair and black eyes. They both love food and are both kinda dumb. They both wear an orange and blue gi and
Oh, that's
learn
kinda
martial arts
racist.
at the start of the story.
In what
Whatever,
world is that hair spiky?
Irrelevant. They're the same character.
hearsay, objection, hearsay.
True.
They both are aliens from another planet that protect the
Yeah.
Earth from other aliens and are in search of the Dragon Balls. As you can see,
But Goku doesn't protect other
Y- y-
aliens. That's
You
just
see, it's just very April Fool's like.
unless he's saying he's protecting the aliens on Earth, which is only like two. Unless he's saying the Earthlings are aliens to him, which I guess that
he
counts
protected
in definition.
Namekians.
He didn't protect the Namekians. He just wanted the Dragon Balls.
He protected
Protecting
them by blowing the
by
planet.
sending them to another planet
To another
that only
dimension.
you know exists.
His main priority was killing Frieza, get the
Well,
bombs.
technically, he saves the universe, and aliens live in the universe. So, does it count?
True. Alright, I guess I'll redact that statement.
They are exactly the same character, and Goku is a ripoff of Sun Wukong, so I guess that makes him a bad character too. Wukong must have been a ripoff of someone else, making him lame as well. It's like bad writing Inception. None of the characters have any depth. What do I consider depth? Whatever Luffy and the Straw Hats don't have. As stupid as Sanji's code is, that's not depth. Zoro's reason for using 3 swords or wanting to become the best swordsman isn't depth. All the characters act exactly the same as when they were introduced. This is obviously a problem, because a character has to change the way they behave in order to have depth. There is no character development either. Character development can be either type 1, which is backstory or fleshing out the character's likes and dislikes, or it can be
Which we
type
did
2,
get.
which is a character arc. One Piece characters don't have backstories or character arcs, especially not backstories. They're all just
Then why are we getting a child Zoro?
Why are you trying to defend trash? This is a kid's
I don't know.
manga.
You're right.
There's no character development, he says.
You know what? You're right. I'm weird. I guess I'm just some weird.
Touch grass. God.
God, I know,
Hello?
right?
Hello?
Again, I still think this is a troll. It was,
No shit. I just said it was
yeah,
a
I
troll.
still think. Nah. I don't think you get it. I think it's a troll.
What did I
I
miss?
just said it was a troll. How am I not getting something? I just
Okay.
said?
I'm just trying to mess with you guys.
While
Okay?
we're watching you,
You're trying to be funny, sir. But you're
I'm
failing.
trying.
You're failing so hard.
I tried. Okay, and it made me look like an idiot. I'm sorry.
And everyone decided to mute themselves.
shallow.
You
There
know
are
what, I'll
only a
mute
few
myself.
pivotal characters. What defines a pivotal character? I'm sure you can figure it out if you're as smart as me. Let's go to the story. The story is simply atrocious. It's garbage and offensively bad. I'm not gonna explain that because you can just watch it yourself and come to the same conclusion. The story is supposed to be about finding the One Piece, but they're never looking for it. They're always wasting time saving other islands. It's not like they go to the New World.
Alright. What he did here was saying it's bad, not explain himself, but then he's currently explaining himself, so... That's...
That's just poor script writing.
Yeah, that's just poor script writing.
Why are they wasting time on all these islands when they could just leave these people to fucking suffer?
True.
Man,
Past the red line.
it's not like half of his crew joined because he stopped to help them on with their problems.
Remember when Gold Roger went all the way to the One Piece? He never took any breaks to get to the One Piece. He never went to the Sky Islands. He never went to stop at Water 7.
He never went to
Yeah.
a ice island, or fire island, or an island with a giant on it, or an island with huge fauna.
And reminder, y'all, Roger was dying of unnamed disease, and he still did all that crap.
Like they go to the New World past the red line, moving them closer to the treasure. It's not like they're making valuable connections on these islands that will eventually help them get the One Piece. I mean, there's no way one of the themes of this story is that the Pirate King has to be someone who's willing to help others or gather followers. That's impossible. Oh,
Yeah,
Was that supposed to
yo.
be ironic? Since this video's all ironic, and he brought up that point, that means that point is a theme or something of One Piece. Therefore, he's getting. I have to say he's getting that point. All right, there's so many doors here. He's being ironic in a statement that he
Wait,
actually
wait.
means, but I don't believe that.
Oh, but Leo,
He's not actually
it's a
saying in the
troll.
video. The point is,
all the arcs feel like filler. They don't gain any members or make any progress towards the One Piece in any of these arcs. The story is just being milked dry. The comedy is objectively cheesy. If you don't have my sense of humor, you're just inferior. There's too much crying, which is automatically a bad thing. The story never kills anyone, except for Ace, and Whitebeard, and all the characters in the flashbacks, but that doesn't count. Wait, do characters dying in flashbacks serve as development for depth, or the characters in the present?
Excuse me?
Oh yeah, I said Pedro. Pedro
Oh
died
yeah,
too.
he didn't bring up Pedro.
If you count Luffy's first part in the manga, which is not told in flashback, you have the bandit guy who dies there. He dies in time events, not in a flashback.
Also, there's all the people that Kuro murders during his cat out of the bag,
I'm not sure how
or
much that
whatever it's
counts.
called.
I'm not sure how much that counts in background characters, but yeah, I see what you mean.
I would count that. That's really not gory but gruesome, but that's pretty much a not great way to go out.
Getting 3 or 4 swords through the abdomen is not doesn't sound very good. I agree.
Yeah, it sounds really peaceful.
Alright, starting the video.
Nah, not possible. The fights also have no strategy, especially Luffy's. He never uses his rubber advantage to negate electricity, he never uses water to punch sand, and he never uses glass to reflect slowing beams. All of his
That's just bad script writing. I know what you're trying to do here, but it's being very clear on what you're trying to do, and that's not funny.
But this is clearly satire, so how can you even criticize satire?
Yeah, he's
It's
being
all a
too
joke.
clear in the satire, which is not funny.
That's impossible. How can you criticize a joke? Okay.
You can't even satire good. This is bad.
Objectively, I like this. Okay, in my opinion.
For you.
fights are just won with
This is bad, in my objective opinion.
For you.
All of his
Maybe.
fights are just won with plot armor. The characters cried over a ship being destroyed. Who puts sentimental value over inanimate objects? These guys are losers. Now for the setting. Pirates are lame. Everyone knows they're lame. If you have to ask why, you're simply unintelligent. Devil fruits aren't even explained. What needs to be explained about the system?
He really is recapping points from, well, it says original video, and it's linked to the Young Defiance One Piece video, so I'm guessing that's what he's trying to do. So this isn't even original satire, and take what you will from that.
Read the manga and you'll know. Hockey sucks. It's probably the worst power system in manga and anime. Luffy's rubber power is also dumb. Rubber is soft. There's no such thing as hard rubber balls or something. It's not like Luffy could potentially control the hardness of his rubber body. He always has to be soft. And the manga is just as bad as the anime. The art style is ugly, and that's just a fact, not my opinion.
Did Luffy ever control the density of his rubber? Because the only time I can think of that is when he did, like, you know, his firework Gatling, when he did the octopus thing, when he fought Enel the second time.
Gear 3, I guess, is the closest example. Like, he's stretching it out so it's not really any air. This isn't really that specific example, I guess.
It's not exactly
Also,
getting dense or... Oh, sorry.
The rubber being soft point. Has this man never heard of rubber bands?
I mean, it's just the elasticity is not exactly getting denser, or actually it is technically getting weaker. And if going by that, he technically does change his density. But then again, if we're going by density, okay, is he referring to armament hockey when he says density?
He might be, but would he even? He knows things about the series, but I doubt he's like read it. He's probably like looked it up on a wiki.
I don't know. I don't really think about density when talking about rubber, let alone Luffy's rubber fruit.
Why is it ugly? Because it's childish. What makes it childish? Just see for yourself. Also, the women are over-sexualized, which automatically makes it bad. They have unnatural bodies. It's not like abstraction is an artistic choice. If the abstraction helped make good poses during the fights or exaggerate facial expressions, it would at least have a purpose. You can't say you have good taste if you actually like One Piece. And with all of this enlightenment I've gained, I actually realized that another manga I know is Valley Fiction. Hunter x Hunter. Based on my analysis here, a lot of these points can apply to Hunter x Hunter. The manga is overhyped and called a deconstruction in order to separate it from other shonen. People overrate it. It's also a shonen, which means that it's stupid like One Piece. Hunter x Hunter fans think they're smarter than other anime fans, therefore the show sucks. Gon is a ripoff of Goku in personality and a ripoff of Yusuke in appearance. That's two characters, making Gon worse than Luffy. None of the Hunter x Hunter characters have any depth. They are exactly the same characters as when they started. Like, what's Leorio's arc? He's supposed to be the fourth main character and he's barely in the show. There's no pivotal characters in this dumpster fire. The story is also garbage. Luffy says his goal is to find the One Piece. He at least makes progress on that. Gon says his goal is to become the best hunter, but nothing he does brings him closer to that. Every single arc is so disconnected. It feels even more like filler than One Piece arcs do. There is no progress made in the arcs. The comedy also sucks.
Considering how long he's talking about Hunter x Hunter, why couldn't he just make a Hunter x Hunter version of Young Defiance video?
Well, now I'm
No,
confused.
he's being
Like,
facts. I guess he's just
his
straight
Hunter x
fire.
Hunter points are trollish or not? Like, I don't get
Yeah,
it.
he is trolling. I'm just saying, why couldn't he just make a Hunter x?
Because I think all these points about Hunter are valid. Like, so
But why not?
weird.
I guess he started running out of One Piece points and needed to fill the time up. Also, I don't know if he's... The video is laced with irony, but I don't know if he's also being ironic when he's also trying to say that he's denouncing fandoms for saying they're smarter, and he's doing this where he's being like, I am objectively smarter than all these by recognizing these as bad. Like, I don't know if he's aware that he's doing that or whether he's doing that ironically to...
This entire video.
I don't get this video.
This entire video is.
This old channel is just a
This
bad
entire video is
troll
ironic.
channel.
This is a troll video. It's basing it off of a Young Defiant video, which is meant to be trollish in nature.
Therefore, we can't criticize it.
That's not what I meant.
No, we can. We're doing it right now.
Now you're just nitpicking.
Yeah, nitpicking's good. Gotta get rid of them nits.
I pick those nit. I'm gonna stop before I say something.
You better.
The characters also cry too much. The fights are very rare, which is a bad thing for battle manga. Gon also never uses strategy. All he does is punch really hard and rely on plot armor. Why was Gon so upset over the death of Kite, who he just met? That's stupid. And like pirates, hunters are lame. The power system isn't even explained. Where does Nen come from? How is it created? Does it work like MP in video games, or is there an unlimited amount? How can characters turn Nen into electricity? No explanation at all. And the manga is even worse than the anime. Have you seen the art? It's so ugly and lazy. The anime completely saved the manga. If there was no anime, I'd never have read this garbage. The women are so over-sexualized. The art...
I mean, I don't think Young Defiant brought the anime saved, quote unquote, in his video. So why, like I said, why didn't he just make a Hunter x Hunter Young Defiant type video if he's gonna
I'm back. Sorry, restroom called.
talk
Hey,
about
Rex.
Hunter x Hunter like this? Whatever.
art is childish. In conclusion, you can't say you have good tastes if you like Hunter x Hunter.
Wow, he really just wanted to talk about Hunter. Alright, this is bad satire. This is a bad
Oh, it's that
video.
guy again.
It's just-
You have trash taste if you watch anime in general. So
What the heck are you
he's
supposed to
telling
say his
truth.
name?
he said his name. Let me go back.
Oh no, I
Keisuke
mean.
Stashika.
it's-
Your young and
Miss-
defiant king, Yumesuke Stashika here. I saw a video talking about how One Piece sucks, and I actually agree. One Piece
Whatever. I'm not trying
Are
to.
you supposed to say both parts or just one or the other?
What do you mean both parts? What?
Yunosuke Shika? Dashika?
Let me go back.
Hey guys, it's your young and defiant king, Yumesuke Stashika here. I saw a video
Yumesuke Stashika. That's what he said.
What are you in there?
Yumesuke Stashika. I'm not sure if he's just said it fast, but that's what he said.
I'm not hearing him say a U in that second in the last part of his channel name.
Hey guys, it's your
Anyone else here?
young and defiant king, Yumesuke Stashika here. I saw a video talking about how One Piece sucks.
You hear it now?
He's sort of slurring the words together.
Even though it should be something like Yumesuke Yusatashika, but he's just missing a few syllables, so who cares?
Yumesuke Sitashika. That's what I would say.
Man's getting his own name wrong. Whatever, that was a video that existed.
What's next on the agenda?
Let's see what's next on the list. Hey, can knock this down, I guess.
What's up guys, Chris here with another new video, and today I just want to take a very quick and brief time out of your day to talk about Interstellar Ranger Commence. This is actually an indie original.
43,000 viewers on the first episode. Good for them. I just wanted to add that if you didn't notice.
Anime series created by Mauricio from the Roundtable Entertainment YouTube channel. If you guys have not seen his content, you really should. It's actually really good and informative and also incredibly entertaining. He primarily does a lot of stuff for movies.
Debatable? No, I said it's not. And I can bring up facts.
No,
Yes,
I'm saying
there's
I'm talking
some
about
really
him
bad
making the claim. They want him making the claim that it's good to watch.
Can't say for all of his videos, but there's some real bad ones. Captain Marvel's a real bad one.
There are 0 dislikes on this video.
It's because there's only 404 views.
Leo, you're pretty cynical. Why don't you give him a dislike?
I'm not cynical, I'm just pointing it out because I have the access
I
to.
am very cynical.
And give it a dislike.
You really should. It's actually really good and informative and also incredibly entertaining. He primarily does a lot of stuff for movies, superheroes, animation. It's basically just a jack of all trades channel, which over the last 2-3 years, he has been doing more content on superhero movies and stuff like that, with other miscellaneous stuff here and there, whichever catches his fancy.
Jack of all trades. No, he's just doing animated and movies and TV shows. Not
I mean, that's
exactly-
always a good thing. I never understand when
not
someone
exactly
does, like...
unique or a jack of all trades type. Whatever. I mean, this man likes Interstellar Rangers Commence. I don't expect him to make clear sentences.
And they're all just really, really good videos. I honestly watch every single one of them. But over the last 3 years in particular, he had gathered a team of animators, sound designers, and voice actors.
One animator and like I don't remember the sound design team, but I'm pretty sure it's like
He definitely got, like, he definitely got people that had a voice. I'm just gonna... I'm not sure about the acting.
To create his own original anime series that he is currently uploading on YouTube, and episode 1 is out right at this moment, which I'm going to leave a link in the title card above and in the description below. And I want to make this video primarily to just talk about why I think this first episode was actually really good, as well as just state how much potential that the series does have to be something really good.
potential.
But I'm going to get into that right after this intro.
Chris, don't put an intro. Friggin'. And I'm even a big fan of intros in YouTube videos, but you don't just put an intro in the beginning of another intro for the video about the video.
I misread his title. I thought he was the Geek Weeb.
Greek? Whatever.
As the Greek.
So if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help. And if you do like this video, and if you want me to talk about this series as it continues onward, please let me know in the comments down below and like the video.
How many almost 2,000 subscribers. Good for you. No. No, thank you. I won't answer that.
Also, check me out on Instagram and Twitter just to check out whatever it is I do randomly or post to not just get updated for when I upload next, but also just see whatever else I'm up to. But anyway, Interstellar Ranging Immense is an original series created by Mauricio in his whole...
So basically, 2 minutes and 5 seconds in, and we're actually getting to the video. Sick. That was very necessary time. Now, plugging your stuff, I can say I have no issues with a good old plug, but those 2 intros were completely unnecessary. Maybe if you just put one intro and then put your descriptor, no wait, put the intro and then put the beginning part of the video and swip them around, I wouldn't really have an issue with that, but as it is now, it's not well made.
whole team that has been in the works for the past year. And when I first discovered Mauricio's channel, I was honestly kind of inspired when I heard that he was actually doing this. As I've seen from time to time, he would do his own like little animated shorts for particular portions, like either it be bits in videos that he's doing or just straight up fan-made scenes that are honestly very well done for him doing it on his own.
Look at that nose.
That's a very big nose. That's like a villager nose.
Sorry, but
But by doing this whole series with a team, it shows that for one, he's got great talent as a writer and a director.
no, he just has a team.
I can't say much for the writing. It's my brother.
Really say
Don't
much
remind
for
me, he's my
writing.
brother.
This
Writing's
is your
not
brother.
been great.
But anyway,
Seriously?
Writing's fairly amateurish for Interstellar.
but wait,
I can bully him even more.
he said that he has a team, so that tells he's a good writer. No, it doesn't. That's a pretty big leap in judgments. That's all I got to say.
A lot of the scenes that are done in this series not just shows how much he has put a lot of thought and effort into both the characterization of his character, how much he has a lot of the scenes that are done in this series not just shows how much he has put a lot of thought and effort into both the characterization of his characters and the world that he has.
I don't know what the hell he says, and that sentence is mind-numbingly dumb. This is already starting off very well.
As crafted for the series, but you can also tell that it's also paying homage to anime as a whole. Because like us, who come watch my videos, he is a massive weeb like the rest of us. The whole thing that I honestly love is...
Don't say. Also, how is this a point of praise? This is
That's just a state
Using
of
what
fact.
he loves as a reference.
Ruby was like
Look,
that,
he's
and look at that.
Look, he's inspired by anime. That makes it a good.
Well,
Relatable.
no, Ruby's falling off on that. 'Cause remember, the design philosophy for Ruby was, hey, something cosplayers can easily
Anime
make.
homework.
And now look at Ruby now.
Remember the
Clearly
anime
they weren't
homework
doing
thing
their
where
homework.
Monty gave to the writers. That was not good. As it was just enter trope, and then our job is done.
Punch scene, copy it.
And like the Family Following just did like a copycat version of like Kid just to show how much of a copycat it is. I like that.
My God, how hard is it to actually write something? Not make something good. Actually write something.
Well, clearly
down.
nowadays, very hard. Look at the Halo TV series.
Like, it doesn't even have to be good. Just make a story. You're just copying the idea of a story at that point.
I mean, I'm fine with you just like taking little bits and pieces, because just for example, tropes or. No. I'm just saying like little bits and pieces, like tropes or something. But just complete copy paste. That is a problem right there, because you're not even doing something. You're not putting your own spin into it.
It ultimately matters how you use the tropes you're given, as opposed to using
how
the tropes.
we use it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What was this black border? I just realized there's a black. Well, whatever.
Maybe to avoid copyright.
Speaking of tropes, is there any like tropes that you dislike or you're not a fan of, but like clearly like if the right hands has it, you're gonna like it? Something that you're not a fan of?
That's a very.
Before you about. Do you want to go first, Leo?
Yes. Whatever you just said, that made no sense.
No, I'm just Gavin said like how me not really having a dislike of a trope is a problem. I'm just like wondering like, hey, do you guys have any dislikes of a trope?
That's a you thing.
Okay,
You
cool.
can just be fine with stuff. It's not a.
No, I'm just saying that because I'm just interested. I'm not like mentally scarred. I'm just wondering.
I guess you'd call it a trope. It's more just, I would say, bad writing in how, in things with lots of dramas, characters will dislike a character for whatever reason, and another character will dislike another character for another reason, but the plot will revolve itself around them not actually talking over the issue, because if they ever talked about the issue, they would resolve it. But things contrive themselves so that it doesn't happen. I feel you could work it well, but like, I've never seen it written well. Like an actual character conflict based off misunderstandings.
Oh, you mean the friends become enemies because of a misunderstanding trope?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, that.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, people don't really do that well.
I think it was just. Wouldn't it just be like the misunderstanding trope or something?
Yeah, that would have been a lot easier thing to say, but.
That'll be a big thing, because if they're completely turning against them, there gotta be something more with that, right? It can't just be. You gotta be a big misunderstanding. I think it would also help that there's also some leverage towards the person, kind of tipping towards that other evil.
Yeah, that's usually how tropes go. It's not it's not just the trope you have to be worried about, it's how well you implement it.
Okay, let's take Kingdom Hearts for example.
Jeez.
How familiar is everyone here? Well, okay, it's just the Riku and Terra obviously listen to the words of people who look extremely evil and are like, yeah, I'll listen to you, Maleficent. You seem
Very
like a trustworthy person.
Very open-minded. I won't. I don't want to judge a book by its cover. Who knows? That might save my life. I don't know. I don't know Kingdom Hearts.
That's more like a logic flaw in the universe. Since I mean
is there anything that contradicts
the voice crack? They live with Disney characters, and Disney characters are pretty black and white. So
do they know that?
That's what I mean. Do they know how black and white the universe is? Because that would imply that. Oh shit! Oh god. The internet bungled up. Hold up, let me type this in the mobile Discord. Internet went down.
Since they're an actual monster, so you got that type
Oh
of.
no.
But I can
Queen
see that
died.
Mufasa didn't see him that he would kill him. Just that he's asshole. That's it. Like family, like family.
Look,
Sorry
family,
about
yeah.
that. I'm back.
Then
Leo,
you'll.
what happened?
So did they
I
see
touched
Maleficent as that? A bit of a
on
jerk,
this
but
computer
meaning
I'm
well.
using. There's a device that allows me to connect to the internet. I touched a wire next to that said thing, and the internet went off.
Well, it's good that we're back.
It's still recording, so take what you will from that. Anyway, Kingdom Hearts. Why is it so damn confusing?
Zamora can't tell a straight story.
True.
Because Kingdom Hearts story is trash, unfortunately.
It wasn't until really he introduced like a bunch of more concept after the first game, because the first game was fairly simple to follow.
Say, fellas, do you want to open the door to darkness? Do you need help opening the door to darkness? Whatever he said.
Door to
Did
darkness.
somebody mention the door to darkness? Yeah.
Somebody mentioned the door to darkness?
Someone said. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Mickey Mouse
you'll
watched
pay for
Mario
that.
joining.
Darkness.
Freaking, why is everything...
Helping!
They
Did someone open the gate of darkness?
Kingdom Hearts need to stay... No, not
Hello,
just Kingdom
fellas.
Hearts. Final Fantasies need to stay away from anything else. That thing is far
Okay.
too melodramatic. And awkwardly written. I don't know, maybe I'm just being biased.
To be honest, all Final Fantasy story are very complicated with a lot of lore dumps. Difference is that Kingdom Hearts is a narrative series, a linear narrative series, when all video games are single stories.
Now, when you say linear,
I wouldn't call it linear, considering you need a couple side games to get a lot of the main plot.
But it's more linear than Final Fantasy games. Like every Kingdom Hearts game is kind of continuation. When Final Fantasy, every part mostly are just single stories.
But when transitioning from 1 to 2, you need to play Chain of Memories, or else you're not going to get what happened in a lot of the intro sequence.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that's why it's more how to say it,
a linear timeline.
Imagine Kingdom Hearts as
it's
a
more
TV
apparent
series.
hardness, difficulty of the story to understand. Because if you try to understand stories in Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy VII, it's complicated too.
You mean Kingdom Hearts is more
Timeline?
bullshit than Final Fantasy? I'll take that as a yes.
From my little experience from Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy VII, it seems more consistent due to just having one game, whereas Kingdom Hearts is a continuous series that has multiple games.
Yeah, that was
I
I
would
meant.
say yes. From a bird's eye view, yes. Maybe in depth, maybe Final Fantasy VII is a convoluted mess. I don't see any objections, so I think what I'm saying is right.
God, that comic book. Well, I'm just gonna start the video.
of us. The whole thing that I honestly really love is that it really does pay homage to a lot of anime, like how a lot of anime-inspired shows do tend to do nowadays.
You go back.
Yeah, I'm doing
Go back.
Yeah, yeah.
I did
Anime,
not
like how a
see
lot of
the
anime-inspired shows do tend to do nowadays.
Walking up a thing.
But this one really felt like it was trying to say that I love.
Oh yeah, running up a thing. Ooh,
I feel like you could have
inspired.
used a better example,
Yeah,
a
that-
much more obvious
That
example.
was bad.
You could have also used more than one example. Like it's probably just a coincidence. You have a scene of character running up a big monster's arm.
Could have sworn I've seen that in a bunch of other stuff, but nothing's coming out of the top of my head right now.
One's a coincidence. Two.
Yeah, wait. Android 18 running up Ribrianne's arm. Power, turning him into power.
Ribrianne?
Doing all big.
I guess I don't.
I forgot most of the fights in Tournament
I
of
don't
Powers.
blame you.
This medium, and this one really felt like it was trying to say that I love this medium and this is my idea for my own series that I want to give back to everyone else. But enough about me just gushing over it like completely randomly for this opening of the
See
video.
those borders? You see that border break? Why is he doing that?
Completely
wants to go
random.
widescreen.
He's trying to be cinematic. It's just very.
It's an artistic choice. It's his cinematic vision.
Wes Anderson 0. Point.
This is
fuck
more.
You can reimagine his vision because the past 30 to 33 minute, 3 minutes to 3 minutes and 40 seconds has been trash.
So, do you think anything of any live action like doing a reference to anime?
I have no idea what you just said.
Because now thinking about it, I can't really think of one. Maybe that, is there any like live action film or maybe TV series that reference anime?
Your voice is laggy.
It's coming in a bit like choppy.
And if anything, I see more like animated
Yeah, I'm just starting the video now.
series.
Like
They're cutting off
completely
every other
randomly
syllable.
for this opening
Like,
of the video because it's that I want to give back to
Animations or
everyone
whatever.
else. But enough about me just gushing over it like completely randomly for this opening of the video because I wasted 3 minutes of your time. And don't worry, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but it's an entire spoiler free for the most part. So this series focuses on Hope Griffin, who is the main protagonist of this series, and she has gotten into a illustrious academy to become an interstellar ranger. Right off the bat, this series is
Akira reference?
it's a school for this anime, like
Akira
how it's
motorcycle reference? You trying to say Namek?
Jesus Christ, he's still speaking?
Can't hear him now.
Namek was AI all the time.
for this anime, like how it become an interstellar
Everything's getting a lot confusing.
ranger. Right off the bat, this series is it's a school for this anime, like how it's a very common trope used in anime and just media in general.
It's not a trope.
And it works. It's a
It's
good
just
way
aesthetic.
to introduce.
Is the school setting a trope now?
I'm not even gonna argue with this since I know what he's trying to say, but that's not a trope.
I argue that's just a setting.
I think dude is confusing being bland and having references.
That too, I also think he's conflating.
used in anime and just media in general. And it works. It's a good way to introduce people to the world that you're creating and whatever power systems and lore that you're going to bring deep down. This series in particular, within the first episode...
Not only is that not a trope, that's not even why people even use this quote-unquote trope. It's a setting. Wow, it's not specifically for that reason. What is he talking about?
Calling the school setting a trope, a common trope amongst anime.
And other media, apparently. But this is not a trope, it's just a setting. Freaking Komi Can't Communicate is a school setting, and I believe that doesn't have any superpowers.
I can only guess because since this has other things other than like the status quo of normalcy, it's used to educate us about the world.
That's what he said, but that's not the point of that's not the specific... This is based off of a point that doesn't even make sense, so I'm trying to rationalize that.
It would be a trope if it was something a bit more distinct, like how in Kill la Kill, where the student council is like extremely powerful and all governing over the entirety of the school. There's nothing as much distinctive about just having a school setting in Interstellar Ranger.
But he said it was a trope. But, like I said, I'm arguing a point that doesn't make any sense, so...
Yeah, it doesn't.
Also, I'm pretty sure he's talking about whatever anime this is and My Hero. And those two are in schools and do about the same thing, so it's a trope. At least that's what I'm thinking, why he called it a trope.
I think he's arguing it is a trope, but like this, but again, it's not because it's a setting. I think I remember that one, but the first one, but I don't remember what its name is.
We had a school setting and we didn't learn jack.
Is that what it's called? Alfonso Kaguya-sama? The first clip? Kaguya. Oh.
No, he's saying Kaguya-sama is a school setting, not that that was the name of it.
Alright then.
Introduce people to the world that you're creating and whatever power systems and lore that you're going to bring deep down. This series in particular, within the first episode, gave us good characterization for Hope and shows that she is a much deeper character and has a lot of nuance to her. And I honestly really want to learn more about her and how she got into the academy, as there is some conflict with some of her classmates, primarily with the class rep that has been going on in the background, in the forefront throughout the whole opening episode.
They explain something. The main character doesn't like the exclamation nuance.
What'd I miss?
Nothing.
No.
Call Hope nuance without saying why she's nuanced.
You missed trope. Settings are a trope now.
Thank you. See, you see, Leo. Maybe you should explain yourself on what I miss.
You talk too much.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Play the video. Play the video.
I'm sorry. I was being rude.
No. I should just get a hot virus and never be able to use my laptop again. Right.
I'm sorry, man.
Sounds so sarcastic. Play the video.
Nuance to her, and I honestly really want to learn more about her and how she got into the academy, as there is some conflict with some of her classmates, primarily with the class rep that has been going on in the background, in the forefront throughout the whole opening episode, about her getting enrolled in school. And the next episode is being set up for her to essentially have a bit of an actual full-on conflict with this class representative, and I'm looking forward to it. But what I'm interested in is essentially From the
Well,
opening.
he said this was gonna be spoiler free, but he's explaining the entire show at first episode. I just wanted to add that.
3 minutes, you get a lot about not just Hope, but also like the world that we're getting thrust into for the series. Literally, opening 3 minutes was literally not too much real dialogue. Hope didn't really speak outside of the first line in the first opening minutes, and then once she's like on the flight to the academy, which is off-world, which I'm a sucker for sci-fi settings. I'm just a big...
let's name the things, name the nuance of Hope.
I mean, sure, they explain some things about the world, but that's not really... Oh, it is world building. But it is a good world building, and I would say it's decent.
I mean, yeah, we slowly learn the world of Demon Slayer, but that's not really good.
Slowly?
Excuse me?
You said slowly, and...
No. Demon Slayer, we do slowly learn, like, well, not slowly. We do learn things about the world, but it's not good.
Nevertheless. The opening 3 minutes was not that good, because it only explained a character being important, Soda, and apparently there's a cat girl. So there's feline human hybrids. I mean, there was no...
was it a cat girl, or was it just her headphones?
What was this character with cat ears?
Literally, opening 3 minutes was...
Oh, that might just be headphones.
Or a hairband or something like that. Considering they don't match the color of her hair whatsoever.
Yeah.
You think that stuff?
I can kind of see like a bit of black on her head, so yeah, it could just be headphones.
The opening 3 minutes was literally...
It looks like a one of those hairband things.
How dare Leo?
It isn't my fault the character design all the way back there is hard to, see.
Why'd you focus on it in the first
place? It
place?
does make sense that there is no, like, faunus-like creature. That does make a whole lot more sense to just seeing that one creature and then never seeing...
Bust my balls. Freaking, what's his name again? The guy who bought Twitter was gonna make cat girls real, so...
Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
So don't judge me for thinking he actually made a reality in the Interstellar Ranger Commence universe. Bugger all.
Not too much real dialogue. Hope didn't really speak outside of the first line in the first opening minutes, and then once she's like on the flight to the academy, which is off-world, which I'm a sucker for sci-fi settings. I'm just a big sci-fi and supernatural nerd when it comes to this type of stuff. I do like when a series tries to do sci-fi in space and opens up a whole wonderbox of possibilities to get into it. And from the trailers that we've been given...
Is this supposed to be something to commend, or is this a personal...
It's a real personal thing, and I hope he is.
This is a really good thing to bring up when you're talking about a review. I already said this review already started off with 3 minutes of padding, so why not more padding?
And at least 2 minutes talking about setting.
And how it's really good of Hope.
How it's really good that there's no dialogue. There's barely any dialogue in like the first minute. Good quality show.
And Primal, a freaking Adult Swim film, TV series, is like no dialogue.
Well, you got a bunch of grunts and dinosaur yells.
I assume there's more than just grunts.
You're dealing with the cavemen. You expect more?
No, I'm just like... I saw like little bits and pieces of just like... a relationship and everything. It's very simple to do when you just have two characters, like one of the literal dinosaur. When we have like multiple people in this new world that we don't know, it's gonna be kind of difficult.
trailers that we've been given for this series over the past 2 years, I'm looking forward to see how fights and exploration is going to go into it, as the whole emphasis of this has become a ranger and to bridge humanity with whatever else they find out there in the stars. And this academy is going to be the stepping stone for these characters to become rangers. And like I mentioned from the opening, we do get clear definitions for the different types of characters that we see. It is a very small cast as of right now for Hope's class, the 95th class, and it's not a lot of characters. Primarily, we only really get to know Hope, the class rep, his friend, and to a much smaller extent, Hope's roommates. But they have clear enough personalities that we're definitely going to get more of them in the future. It shows that there is a lot of different plot threads and character motivations that have been planted in this first episode that we're going to explore throughout the first season, which I'm honestly very...
I can name like
Actually,
specific
it's just
character
everyone here wanted to
motivation.
be Interstellar Ranger. The only other motive is the main antagonist not wanting to be a Interstellar Ranger dad.
You know what? I can only name one. Now thinking about it, I'm thinking about Hope, and it's just like, no, it's not really a motivation. That's just something that she she cheated or something. Just something like, it's not really a motivation. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it's just they want to be here. I was gonna say that the freaking young brother kid there's no really motivation. It's just him not liking his older brother.
Very excited about. Honestly, it's hard to talk about this without fully spoiling this entire episode, which again,
it's just one episode, dude. Come on. He's not doing a great job of not spoiling. He is synopsising a lot of things.
That's really what I just said. You weren't here for that.
It would be a lot better if he just went full spoiler, because it's just one episode and he's having to talk about nothing to fill out the time.
I guess I want to know the nuance, but I guess that would just be spoilers.
You could talk about characters, but that would be spoilers.
Yeah, because it would spoil the episode. This is not good.
Those deep, rich characters with lots of background information, interesting character conflicts. Those characters like a blue mustache girl.
The main guy's bad friend. The bad guy's main friend.
A thirsty girl.
The class rep who doesn't want to be a class rep.
The girl that is self-conscious about her boobs.
The girl who doesn't know how doors work.
The glasses girl. The dude that likes the lunch lady. I'm not even saying their names. I'm just saying what they did.
The girl who looks like Connie from Attack on Titan.
And dirt.
Honestly, it's hard to talk about this without fully spoiling this entire episode, which again, I do highly recommend you guys watch it for yourself. It has so much potential to be a really big thing, as, like I said, there's a good amount of world building from the opening 3 minutes alone, with the attention to detail to some of the newscasts on the back of billboards and TV screens in the background, to the opening ceremony, to just the flight to the academy, to building from the opening 3 minutes, a really big
we brought it up
thing, as, like I said,
about the episode, I think, but little young in there playing with the toys. I'll give him that. That is some world building, some good world building.
Or foreshadowing.
Showing how this dude's
world
so
building or
big
foreshadowing?
that he
Which one would
gets
this fall under?
I could fall under both, but as far as I can tell, it's foreshadowing. I mean, world building. Because apparently this Azure Forest has toys.
Expect them well now.
They're Ranger Inc. enemies. also have toys of themselves?
Also, did anybody else think that montage with the characters was an ED and not just a montage with the characters that we never knew? The beginning parts, I did think it was just, this is the ending or something.
It's a montage. We already got an ending, and that was a.
I know, but at the time, I'm just like, is this like the ED? We're just gonna see the
school montage one.
I thought the montage was the ED, because like there's like the music. You see these. I know, that's what I'm saying. I thought.
Why would there be like 8 minutes left of the video and just have the rest of it be?
I don't know. Sometimes they kind of do that.
You're not very smart.
Hey, this person put his opening in like 3 minutes.
The last 8 minutes could have been advertisements. We don't know.
Opening 3 minutes alone with the attention to detail to some of the newscasts on the back of like billboards and TV screens in the background, to the opening ceremony, to just a flight to the academy. It just feels really alive. There's a lot of love put into this series. I know I'm kind of stuttering kind of all over the place. This video's entirely unscripted. I'm just going off this right after watching the episode. But another thing I want to praise, aside from how things have been set up very well for a first episode and it grabbed my attention very quickly, is also the fact that...
Wait, did someone say anything?
I didn't say anything.
I thought I heard someone say pause. Sorry about that.
The animation is very constant and always constantly flowing. Especially the fact that this is an indie project.
No, it isn't.
I'd say it's going in varying degrees.
It's not that great.
It's not very constant.
The ending scene got a whole bunch of, got like
new frames.
20 more frames added to it.
I just realized Miss Hope Griffin there is kind of, her complexion is a little bit lighter compared to the background characters.
Could just be literal sunlight directing on her face.
Especially the fact that this is an indie project and done by a small group of people. Everything is honestly very consistent, and when you get to a really important scene, especially close to the end and the opening, there was so much detail in the facial expressions and the movements of these characters, plus the voice acting. It just fits perfectly, in my opinion. And I just can't wait to see more, because this whole team should really give them...
I don't...
It doesn't even show the scene.
Why can't it just be a good scene?
Show the facial expressions, not gonna show the movements, voice acting. I don't want to get copyrighted.
But hey, that moment that may or may not exist, peak fiction.
You could be talking about any scene.
I agree with the motion, because it did like give us more frames.
You got booby bounces, and that's all the show needs.
That could be the movement he was talking about, because he's not actually said what scene he's talked about.
He said the first, the opening, and the end parts. But he technically isn't showing the end part, since, you know, it's blurred out in the background.
We don't know which part in the end he could be talking about.
Yeah, since he's apparently not going to spoil that.
A really important... talking about spoilers. Spoiling the fact that something is gonna pop up is still spoiling it.
Effectively.
Get to a really important scene, especially close to the end and the opening. There was so much detail in the facial expressions and the movements of these characters, plus the voice acting. It just fits perfectly, in my opinion. And I just can't wait to see more, because this whole team should really give themselves a pat on the back for their good job for an opening episode. And I can only imagine how nice the fight scenes are going to look, because this is an action series. Last but not least, I do want to say that the soundtrack is actually really good, with a nice mix of English and Japanese vocals. which again just feels like a love letter to the medium as a whole. The actual soundtrack, and this is only a small taste of what we're going to get for this season, I enjoy it. It's not like super high action, hyper beats. I can't express the words for this. Not just high stakes action, as this is the first episode, it is the setup. It is the setup for this series.
Yes.
It just
Probably would have helped if
feels
he had a script
nice.
to find the words.
It would have helped if he actually said something instead of jumble across his words.
If he
Script may have helped him with that.
If he's done all this point to edit the video, why would he not script out what he was saying? Like, if you were to time out things to the phrase of the video, scripting would have made it better.
The man just said he made this video after he just saw the
Yeah,
episode.
immediately. You got that type of deal where it's like he just watched it, now he wants to express all his feelings, but that's where it comes the problem where he doesn't understand what he's gonna say next.
Yeah, on that, his opinions would be a lot.
Stronger.
Yeah, on a first viewing.
Or concrete.
Whatever.
Nice and cozy, and for setup. It is the setup for this series, and it just feels...
Also, he didn't say anything about the music, I just realized. He just said some words and then dropped the music part.
Yeah, he just did that. I don't remember. Seemed fairly okay.
I just remember DA liking like the ending music.
Yeah, the ending music was probably the highlight of it. It was not bad.
The ending music was pretty decent. I enjoyed it. It didn't make me want to break something.
Oh, okay, like, how about the background music? Just, that was fairly okay.
Nothing on that. I feel nothing on that.
Mix of English
Generic,
and Japanese vocals.
not bad, but not great.
It really bugs me when reviewers just like say, yeah, music good, but they don't actually go into what's good about it. Like, they don't actually bring up examples or like anything about music. Like, they're trying to say music good, but they don't actually have the acumen to talk about music good. It's just really
I want to get
annoying.
better at that. I also want to get better at that.
It's hard being critical of
Describing
something you
music.
don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not easy to learn about what makes music good, but an effort could be made.
Yeah, like, I could describe that this is my favorite part and how it's like a rising with the electric guitar or something.
You already failed.
Which again, just
Yeah,
feels like a
what
love letter
narrative
to the
example
medium
would be
as a
better
whole.
than just saying it's like anime, therefore it's good.
Maybe you can...
I don't know if that's what he's even trying to say. He just brings up points in a review.
This feel
Irrelevant points in a review.
it really feels like Ruby all over again. Just people really being a fan of Rooster Teeth and being like, this is such a great love letter. Then things gonna hit once
People like
Drusilla
this
Racer.
really imprint too much on something. They imprint too much of themselves on a product that is actually bad. Well,
That's like the thing. It's just like within Ruby, it's just a fan base.
imprint
Just
too much on
that
themselves
loyalty.
on something.
The
A
actual
loyal fan
soundtrack,
base.
and this is only a small taste of what we're gonna get for this season, I enjoy it. It's not like super high action, hyper beats. I can't express the words for this. Not just high stakes action, as this is the first episode, it is the setup. It is the setup for this series.
Oh, that's a very good transition right there. Could have just bothered to do a retake. I know this is off of the first time watching the thing, but this is not very good. Just ask for a retake on stuff like this.
And it just feels nice and cozy. And for the more dramatic and personal scenes, it just matches very well and makes it really like pop. If
Wait,
I'm
is he
making
still talking about the music?
Pop.
What's nice and
scenes.
cozy mean?
no one's talking to each other with a voice higher than 20 decibels.
That's the thing. A nice and like him describing that makes me think of the music that he has in the background right now. Can't really think of a nicely cozy track in this episode.
It just matches very well and makes it really like pop, if I'm making any sense about it. For this first episode, I know I said this was going to be a short video, but probably over 10 minutes by now. This first episode really just sets everything up very well, and I am honestly excited to see what happens next for the series, and whether or not I decide to actually start reviewing this on a weekly basis or not, or whenever the episodes come out. I don't remember the schedule that was set for this series, but
He
I'm
said
excited.
weekly. That's funny. You're funny, guy. You're funny. I like you now.
Was said for this series, but I'm excited to see what happens next, as this series in particular, when the first trailer came out and when I first followed Brown Table in the first place, when I heard that he was doing his own original series with a team of animators, voice actors, and like I said earlier, it inspired me to actually hit the ball running and get back to writing my own original series, which the opening chapters are a webtoon, which is in the title card above. I might put in the description below if you guys want, but it's just an inspiration to see someone that, like an artist, make see. I might put in the description.
Give him this.
You sure? Because that avatar looks quite different.
Yes. Unless, you know.
Looks better than that
unless he
freaking.
made that like years before he got his crafts. Either that.
Why
or...
wouldn't you make a new one?
True. Sentimentality reasons.
Description below if you guys want, but it's just an inspiration to see someone that likes a lot of the same stuff you like and ends up following through on making their dream a reality. And that's,
like I said, you're imprinting so much on something. That's why you think it's good. It's not even an objective stance. You're so blinded by feelings. I call cringe.
I had that feeling with Ruby.
Then again, who said this was going to be a fair and honest review? Oh, never mind honest. Who said it was going to be a fair review? It's all his opinion. Whoop-de-doo.
That's what really made me like and instantly jump onto the episode once it came out. It was someone's dream coming to life, and honestly, watching this inspires me to continue doing what I want to do. Not just making videos for you guys, but also to actually get the ball running on my own series of ideas.
What about,
actually,
there's been plenty of that recently too. Plenty of other people have their stuff made into reality. My main example being Vivziepop. Yeah, Vivziepop has been Hotel and Helluva Boss. The series are both fun, and one's going to be coming out soon on actual TV.
Yeah,
also
games
really well
into that
compared to this.
Smiling Friends, technically.
Yeah, that's absolutely Smiling Friends.
I've been playing more examples. I don't see why Brown Table is the rare exception to this. That he has to be like, oh yeah, he did this.
Did we add a
regular show? Regular show and Rick and Morty started as YouTube shorts.
I guess it's because this is the new thing.
We gotta hype up the new thing.
Just keep the train rolling. Of bringing up stuff that isn't that good into. I don't know what to say about that, but do what you want with this product.
Make it come true myself. It's not going to be animated as of right now. It's still going to be like a comic or something, but still, it hits me in the more personal level. The fact that someone's dream came true. This is someone's dream coming true right in front of my eyes. Someone with the exact same dream that I have. And all I can say is that I'm proud for Mauricio. I'm proud for the team that's working on this, as once more eyes get brought onto this, I know for a fact that it's going to go places. As I can already tell, there's a lot of care and love put into the writing, the animation, just the overall craftsmanship of this series, and I just can't wait for more. Anyway, that video ended up being a lot longer than I intended. I honestly wanted this to be a quick, like, 5-6 minute video, and it ended up being, what, like 13, 15 minutes or so. But yeah, if you haven't already, go and check out the video of Interstellar Ranger Commence Episode 1. It is in the description below, and it's also in the title card above, so go give it a watch. This series deserves a lot of views. You better get this trending by the time the next episode comes out. I dare you to get it trending. It needs to be trending. More people need to watch this. But in all seriousness, this is a really good series.
Why did he crop out Brown Table in this Photoshop?
Why didn't he make a video?
That's not even the name of the
on a more, you know, non-script free no spoilers, and then make another one with a script with spoilers.
Sounds like effort. And since he's a fan of this,
I really want to know that nuance.
That would require him talking about the video.
Hey, he's a fan of Interstellar Rangers Commence.
What nuance?
That... I don't know why I'm so tired right now. Oh well. Anywho, like I was saying, this is a poor cropped image. You didn't edit this image too well.
Series, I give the opening episode a 9 out of 10 for the fact that it was just sheer enjoyment, and it just really hit me on a more personal level. The fact that this is someone's dream coming true in front of my eyes, and it inspires me, and I hope it inspires anyone that watches it to go after their own dreams and do what they want to do. Again, links to the episode in the description down below and in the title card, as well as to the social medias and channels for Mauricio and the Interstellar Ranger Commence official social media. And hey, if you like my content as well, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Alright, I'm being...
oh god, you already did that.
Okay. Absolutely. It's cool that they're able to make this episode. But that still doesn't mean anything when
this man likes fairy tales.
You have problems with it.
The man likes Edgy Deku.
What if
That's
Ben
not a good
10
sign.
was in the MCU? Question mark.
Why is that you should watch Eden Zero?
Oh.
Is he the sort of guy who's like, what if X is in Y?
Like it's.
Does this guy like Seven Deadly Sins guy thing? The nights, 4 nights, the whatever. I don't care. The series that caught me into anime. Card Fight Vanguard.
That's a good series.
JoJo is back, baby. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6 review.
Read the manga.
That too.
Seven Deadly Sins.
I made a webtoon, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Check out
Peaks of Fear.
Precipice, exclamation point.
A D&D thing?
Which one?
Peaks of Fear.
Peaks. Where?
It's on the right.
This?
32.
Oh, it's just the 4 Nights of the Apocalypse chapter review.
20 minutes?
Oh yeah, it's 20 minutes. Actually, his chapter reviews go on for a while.
God, you're right.
Eden Zero, 4 Nights. Eden Zero, 4 Nights. Twin Star Exorcist. Eden Zero. Hirogashi Sotsu review. Alright, I guess he's just a review channel. Good for you, I guess. Eden Zero. Well, I guess he's a fairy tale and 7 Deadly Sins. Oh, One Piece discussion. That's pretty quaint. I'm not gonna look at it, but I'll just put it in the back pocket. somewhere. Now for the next thing.
From the outside looking in, and hell, even a little bit from the inside.
Video.
Yes, this video.
No, I saw that video before it was even posted. It's just...
Alright, don't cringe it up then.
JoJo's Bizarre
I'm not
Adventure
gonna
only
spoil.
seems to be about a few things. Convoluted superpowers, insane muscle poses, and Italian food. But after my experience with the series...
What?
Leo, it's a joke. Leo. Don't.
That was a bad joke.
Yes. Let's move on.
And becoming a big fan of it, I can say that the biggest consistent theme of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is sacrifice.
Just like what Oceanus put in. He put it like in his ingredients of things that the gang has to do. It was like, the last thing he said was just like sacrifice. They need a sacrifice for it to be complete. Let me check.
Also, I feel a lot of shows have sacrificing as a theme. It's not that distinctive that JoJo's has it.
Can't spoil it for part 6, so we can say that for part 4. It's
We need to head out.
Heading out. Gotta get that word.
Yeah, we can basically say that the kid sacrificed himself. You know, deciding to touch the bomb and practically almost die, but Josuke was able to save him.
Death and sacrifice isn't unfamiliar in the shonen genre, but because JoJo shifts its main cast in every part, mangaka Hirohiko Araki rarely felt the need to pull his punches with
What? Whatever. Pronunciation.
character death. No Dragon Balls or magic tears are here to bring the cast of JoJo back from the dead, and I think that's something Araki may have intended when he opted for his part-by-part format, to show one era and cast...
There are some
I'm
flaws.
going to assume... I would argue to a degree in part 3 with Joseph, not like in the same way you're saying like Dragon Ball Z magicking someone back to life, but I'd say Joseph coming back is a bit when a series... No, better example. Abdul magic retconning it so that he didn't bite the dust in the scene where he clearly bit the dust.
Yeah. That's more like a retcon or bad storytelling. Retcon or just bad storytelling. But yeah, I know what you mean by that. Rather, I mean, he's specifically saying as advice to bring them back, while what you said was more like retcon or a bad storytelling. Also, forget sacrifices, cause everyone dies at the end of the arc or part. So I don't care about sacrifices. Everyone just dies in the end of the arc.
They sacrifice for the world, you see.
It doesn't matter if they die at the end of the arc. I mean, end of the parts.
It doesn't also help that, like, they're fated, so that sacrifice wasn't really out of their own choices. It was because they were fated to do that. That really weakens, like, the absolute resolve that Bucciarati had.
So his sacrifice in part 1 was, like, Jonathan for Arena and that kid. 2 was, like, Strollheim, but he comes back to life, so forget about that. Technically, Caesar, I guess, maybe?
He's gone. Completely.
I mean, it's not actually a sacrifice.
Not really a sacrifice, is it?
So
He died.
Nothing really in part 2.
Part 3, absolutely.
Yeah, part 3, everyone just dies at the end.
Half.
Half, everybody, whatever.
He said the kid in part 4, but he does get saved. Getchi?
Getchi wasn't a sacrifice.
It wasn't a sacrifice. It was just a coincidence. But it was because of Shigechi. They were able to get like super close to getting Kira, which also caused them into changing his entire identity. Can't say Rohan because that's not really a sacrifice.
No, only part 3. And
Really, it is. It's just death.
That's cringe. If it's just
not
about them
sacrifice,
dying,
it's death.
Then this point is irrelevant. Because whatever.
Format to show one era and cast saving the day and giving all they have to make room for another.
Also, that's irrelevant. People could just die, and the story can still continue. Forget about it being segmented in parts. Also, like, flashback deaths, does that count? Something or other? I'm just saying.
Almost every part of JoJo shows some form of sacrifice towards its end. This brings us to Part 5, the segment of the JoJo saga with the most sacrifice and the most emphasis on the matter. After the final battle of JoJo Part 5, we're treated to a flashback, an encounter that takes place before Giorno even enters the scene, in which Guido Mista comes face to face with the enigmatic Scalipi and his stand, Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone is, aptly enough, a massive stone that when chiseled away at, unveils the shape of somebody prophesized to die. Only by breaking the stone as a whole can one change this fortune, in turn causing the stone to reshape into new victims of its prophecy. But with no—
Is this correct? Because I haven't finished, or will finish, part 5 of JoJo's.
Hey, finish it.
No.
Finish it.
Is what he said true? And why is everyone dead?
Oh, so it was a prophecy
because it was
it's just...
fated.
Because themes. Fuck you.
Right.
Basically, Bucciarati was supposed to die, but because Mista stopped it, it broke, and now Narancha and Abakio are condemned to die.
For some reason.
And there's a problem there where it's just like they just don't know that what Mista did actually did worse. So they're just gonna be walking, and it's just I didn't know I was gonna be fated to die. That was the problem with Oceanus, where it's just like we're gonna take this sacrifice, and it's just like they can't really take a sacrifice if they didn't even know that they were fated to die. Narancha wasn't a sacrifice. Abakio wasn't a sacrifice. Narancha died in such a real contrived way.
Narancha shouldn't have. It shouldn't have happened that way, given how King Crimson works.
The range of it, the placements, and the time. Like, what was the time? It was like you got like what, 5 seconds.
Yeah,
and again, it's just like it really does not help that you can't interact to things, right?
You also have to factor in that he's just skipping over the time. The events still have occurred and skipped over time. So Naranchi would have had to have done nothing to have defended himself while that was happening, and no one would have had to have heard him react as that was happening.
His abilities are real just Dio's ability, but more complicated. You're gonna have you have to take the idea that these characters did nothing within at 5 seconds, whereas Dio's is much more simpler. They can't do anything because time has stopped. And again, it doesn't really help when you have these characters reacting that time is skipping. It's just like, do you realize? I have to assume that that you realize that time is skipping once you get close to him.
The issue is we don't know the range, since the first time we saw the effects of King Crimson play out, they were like a building away. It's like, what is actually the range of it? Because that's abnormal for like how big the range is.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, this is a complicated way for Araki to kind of do a deal
it's not complicated. He just made it
more complicated version to just stop time.
Yes, I get. No,
But
I still can't.
Is it well explained even?
He explained it, and then he contradicted himself several times.
Which would make it not explained well.
Oh.
It was. He just fucked up the bag.
No promise that the outcome would necessarily be better or worse. Mista breaks the stone and leaves the scene without looking to see that the stone has now taken the shape of Narantia and Abakio, simply in addition to Bruno, effectively dooming the 3 members of Bruno's team who do indeed die over the course of Part 5. Skalipi, being a sculptor, comments on his mantra that we, as human beings, are all simply slaves in the stone. A sculpture within a stone is predetermined before the chisel hits it. All an artist does is reveal this, just as we, as followers of our fate, have no control over our final destinies, only the steps that lead up to it. Hearing this mentality from
If you're
that was
predetermined.
What he said. What point are you trying to make?
Oh, I'm just saying, just like, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, no matter what.
Why did he have to say all that?
No matter how much
Why
you're
did he
gonna
have
fight
to say
it.
that all then?
I don't like the idea that like if you built something that way, it was predetermined that way. Like, if I have one box of cereal in my pantry and I want to have some cereal, I'm not predetermined to eat that cereal. I just have that one box of cereal. If you want to build something a certain way, it's not predetermined to be that way. You just wanted to do it that way. It's not. You've not predetermined fate by there only being one course of action that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna rebel fate and just fart on the cereal. But wait, now I was fated to do that all along.
If you look at something like in retrospect, you can't say that's fate. That's not how it works.
There's definitely. You can say more about this ending if you had all the characters getting. I said this before in like a comment, where it's just like it would have been better if they all got it. Everybody in Bucciarati's gang, where it's just like, oh, there was a chance to change their fate. It's just they failed it.
He didn't bring up changing fates. He just said fate.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I think it would be better if like Fugo and Mista also got that. It's just like, okay, well, Fugo was able to change his fate due to just getting out of the freaking trouble of defying the boss, and Mista was able to get it because.
Okay, but I'm talking about the video right now.
If all fates are predetermined, then why wasn't the effects for Narantia and Abacchio also predetermined? Why did they change? But everything's predetermined.
Because Fugo killed the Rock. That's why.
No, Mista.
Mista.
Freaking. Talking about the part I don't like. Shut up. What are we doing here? What was part 5?
Complaining about bad video.
Why was part 5 even made? This part.
There's some good stuff. There's some real good stuff in part 5.
Good stuff. My chocolate starfish. The overall was pretty bad.
Like part 3 is like the second worst, but at least it doesn't have like the biggest. The lows of part 5 are very low.
that lead up to it. Hearing this mentality from Scolippi, I could only think of the Zeppeli family characters from parts 1 and 2, and their curse to sacrifice themselves to keep their friends alive and save the world. Caesar Zeppeli comments on this himself, being one to bear the Zeppeli name, and
William Zeppeli, absolutely. Caesar did not sacrifice himself.
It was very shoved in.
Caesar
forced to die for Joseph's sake, just as his father died for his own sake and his grandfather died for Jonathan. I don't think it was unintentional that the Zeppeli family is of Italian origin, and that they would share this mentality with the characteristically Italian cast of Part 5, because I think Part 5 as a whole is sort of encompassing and an emblem of Araki's views on sacrifice and fate.
Encompassing an emblem of Araki's views of sacrificing fates. I'm gonna.
The first half of Part 5 encompassing and an mentality with the characteristically Italian grandfather died for John, one to bear the Zeppeli name, world.
Yeah,
Caesar
again,
Zeppeli
I
comments on this himself, being one to bear the Zeppeli name and forced to die for Joseph's sake, just as his father died for his own sake and his grandfather died for Jonathan. I don't think it was unintentional that the Zeppeli family is of Italian origin, and that they would share this mentality with the characteristically Italian cast of Part 5, because I think Part 5 as a whole is sort of encompassing and an emblem of Araki's views on sacrifice and fate.
Give Joseph some
world. Caesar Zeppeli comments on this himself, being one to bear the Zeppeli name and forced to die for Joseph's sake, just as his father died for his own sake and his grandfather. The first half of Part 5 focuses on Bruno and the gang's mission to...
Cool. Very cool. It's just like, that was like a good moment where it's just like Joseph is just like, I'm gonna avenge you. I drink this once I finally beat Wamu. I'm not really thinking about it thematically, I'm just thinking about it in character moments, so...
Half of Part 5 focuses on Bruno and the gang's mission to deliver Trish to her father, the boss of Passione, all while dodging and fighting La Squadra, who seek to kidnap Trish for themselves to go against the boss on their own terms. However, Bruno sees enough himself when delivering Trish that the boss's intentions with her are wicked. It is then and there that he decides to defy the boss, taking Trish from him on his own and declaring himself traitor to his superior in the name of his own morals and nobility.
Yes, okay.
He declares that the rest of his gang is in no way required to join him.
Okay, here's the thing that I didn't realize until ALX talked about it. There really is no reason why Diavolo couldn't just insta-kill Trish. That's just what to say. I never really understood that, and then I...
Yes, a writing flaw.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying it's a writing flaw. I just wanted to mention that.
Wait for Bruno to give Trish and kill her without interrupting in a lift.
It would make sense if Trish had something that Diavolo needed. Information or something about...
Yeah, that
is
a pretty big writing mistake.
Like I said, a weak point in the writing.
What is essentially a suicide mission to stand against Diavolo and his seemingly unstoppable stand. But all of his gang, sans Fugo, stand by him. Things go marginally disastrously from there. Before Bruno can even succumb to his wounds, Diavolo manages to kill both Abbacchio and Naranzia, albeit all in circumstances that involve them dying to keep the rest of their team moving forward. Because of their respective sacrifices, Giorno, Mista, and Trish all manage to vanquish Diavolo once and for all, protecting Trish from her father who sought to end her life, and allowing
Fugo was... I don't know how Fugo died.
He didn't. He completely left. He refused to defy the boss. He thought logically. I think it was something within...
I meant Abbacchio. Jesus Christ.
Oh. I thought you said Fugo. Sorry.
I said Fugo, but I meant Abbacchio. I just got their names mixed up.
Okay, Abbacchio died because he was actually he helped a bunch of kids to get a ball, and one of the people was Diavolo dresses up as one of the kids, decided to get near him to do a fist through his stomach, abdomen, chest. I don't know specifically. It was around that region.
So it wasn't a sacrifice. He just got backstabbed.
It was absolutely not a sacrifice.
Giorno to end the corrupt drug.
Oh, and the other guy didn't sacrifice himself.
Trade he so long wished to as the new leader of Passione. With so much death being the cost of these victories, one could be led to wonder if it was even worth it. But Bruno would have never died if he hadn't stood up to Diavolo. Abbacchio's death allowed Giorno to distinguish Diavolo's fingerprints, and Narantia dying in Giorno's place allowed Giorno to live to defeat Diavolo one-on-one. Rolling Stone showed that all three were—
They just died in the middle of their goal. That's not a sacrifice.
Was not a sacrifice. They're just like taking that meta sense where it's like, oh, they died. But the story, that sacrifice that they need to claim victory, the sacrifice of these characters to die. That's how they can only win. It's weird. It's really weird.
Were destined to die, but all three equally proved that none of it would be in vain. Just like the Zeppelis before them, they all died in manners necessary to the greater good, to save not only Trish, but the countless youth that Giorno was horrified to see fall victim to Passione's drug trade. Within the stone that Mista exposed, they were all to die, but because of Giorno's dream and Bruno's courage, they all spent their last remnants of life in meaning and nobility. Bento away—
They're still gangsters, and gangsters aren't exactly good people. So, no.
Stop the drugs. What about the other things?
Yeah, they just stopped the drugs. Because that was, Giorno's dream. These are not exactly good people. None of them were really noble. They're just a lesser evil. I'll evil go there, they're a lesser evil.
Guero is notably more brutal than prior JoJo parts, in that most stand encounters end in death rather than a mere slap on the wrist as occurred before. This can be
Pause. No.
The beginning part.
The other parts did this. Telling me that Kira wouldn't have killed fucking Totoro, Koichi. He absolutely killed them. He killed Sugechi.
Referring to the main antagonist deaths. No.
Part 3, no, half of antagonists died, if I remember right.
Half of the protagonists?
Well, after fights with Stardust Crusaders. I remember Steely Dan died. I understand. An antagonist died. It just all this fight, the end of fights, it was what it was written in the end of all fights, like this character not died, but this character retrieved, like retired.
Yeah. Oh, Maria?
Yes.
No. When they defeat enemy in part 3, in the end of all fights, it's like Steely Dan retired.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Oh yeah,
Rocky
that dude was.
Made the characters retire instead of saying they died.
Yeah, it's like not sure like if they died or just left.
Maria, that happened with Maria as well, where it's just like she basically got crushed by like cars because of her own magnets.
Yeah, but Maria is alive in a spin-off. Spin-off is not canon.
Yeah.
Whole Horse spin-off is now coming out. She's in there.
What's Whole Horse?
To the game more backdrop.
Basically disappear. He basically canceled his stand before it hit him anything vital, if I remember. They were still put in
This can
hospital.
be chalked up to the gang war backdrop, serving an overall more harsh reality, but I think it's also because overall, the story is served by death.
A more harsh reality? In part 4, they were trying to stop a serial killer. For half.
They saw a ghost, a dog with a open, neck.
Part 1
Again,
and 3
Shigechi
was
died.
Stopping
Vampire killer.
Yeah, stopping vampires from
Again.
taking over the worlds.
Abdul was almost killed.
Even the early rogues of the series, La Squadra, seem like bodies in a crossfire. They hate the boss as much as Giorno does and as much as Bruno grows to, making some wonder why they never put their differences aside and took on Diavolo together, despite being, indeed, more insidious than their counterparts in Bruno's team.
Because our gang wanted to stop selling drugs, and El Squadra didn't. They wanted just more money. That's all. That's why they never teamed up.
No, they also wanted revenge for 2 of their teammates. So it was more of a revenge-focused arc for La Squadra. Not exactly more noble, but more or less noble, but the reasoning, different reasoning.
Despite being, indeed, more insidious than their counterparts in Bruno's team, they more or less die because of misunderstanding. The stand users...
It's not a misunderstanding if you don't explain jack shit. That's about it.
Of La Squadra were, in certain waves, slaves to their own stone, fated to die, and do so as the villains because they resorted to extortion and kidnapping, rather than Team Bucciarati's more virtuous means.
Virtuous means? Yeah. No, they didn't. They busted up cars. And I wouldn't say defile monuments, but they did less bad stuff. They did less bad stuff. They just did less bad stuff. That's all I gotta say. You're bringing too much on one another.
Because they resorted to extortion and kidnapping, rather than Team Bucciarati's more virtuous means. La Squadra had the same goal as Giorno and the heroes, but because they were motivated by greed and spite, and proved to be bullies and scoundrels, their fate was only to be stepping stones to bring the heroes closer to their encounter with the boss.
Why is being bad mean that they have to die? Why? They're just worse people than Bucciarati's gang. That doesn't mean they have to die. Why did he bring this up? That's just wrong. What in the story implies that? That's just unfair. And unrealistic too. You gonna say something, Avery?
Yeah, in Steel Ball Run and JoJo, main characters are not a good people either. They're just less bad than villains. So.
Yeah, that point made no sense. Why did he bring that up?
To their encounter with the boss. Following the laws set by Araki and how he treats the cast of Part 5, fate is predetermined, but how we get there is not. Giorno decided to pursue his place as
no shit. Probably because they don't explain fate, apart from it. irrelevant. I hate this video.
But how we get there is not. Giorno decided to pursue his place as the leader of Passione on his own, and change the path of those around him, but as Rolling Stone's prophecy proved, not their final fate. The destination may have been final, but the path along the way changed the lives of many for the better.
Is that what you put? Who cares? Why are you putting this on the manga/anime? This is irrelevant. Why do you need to say... Whatever.
So, by saying that Giorno's journey had an effect on them, he's saying they changed their fate.
Well, that's not what he said. He changed their destination.
Which is changing something. But fate is unchangeable. But if he's changing them, then they are changing something regardless, even if the destination ends up the same.
So what's the point of bringing this up?
You can't have it both ways. You can't say fate's unchangeable and say he changed the things before the fate.
So he's trying to say something without actually trying to say anything?
Basically. Also, before the video ends, what is this formatting? Why is it like this?
I think he just made this.
Oh God! Why? Why would you watch? Why would you do that? Just watch it on a decent. Why? Just watch it on a decent screen. Damn it! Oh, there's only one comment on the video. Oh lordy.
Well, good luck for you, Strike Star. You're gonna need it.
Not their final fate. The destination may have been final, but the path along the way changed the lives of many for the better. We're all slaves in the stone, but we have a number of decisions, twists, and turns leading up to it. With the gift of life, we can't defy when our story ends, but we have the utmost control over what we achieve with our numbered days up until that point.
You can't control anything, because your fate is sealed. You are literally sleeping slaves.
God damn.
Oh my god. at least he spoiled things.
We've had worse videos, but this one of today has been the worst.
Is this the worst? Yeah, I'll say it's the worst. But then again, it's similar to a lot of videos about Part 5 being
No,
great.
it's similar, but he adds a lot more stuff. Well, had a lot more stuff, but he does add stuff.
Again, it's just like, I can't really think of the other characters in the other parts as sacrifice more of deaths. Again, Part 3, yes. Part 4, I can't really think of. Actually, Part 4. Yes? But some other sacrifice, their sacrifices didn't come to a death. Like, again, the child's one.
Oh, I got one. Highway Stars stand. He was ready to sacrifice himself for. I was about to say Joseph, but that's not his name. What's his name?
Josuke.
Josuke, yeah.
Josuke.
He was about to sacrifice himself for Josuke for the Paper Man. Something. I don't remember the rest, but I remember him doing something along that lines that I would consider sacrifice. Yeah, alright.
Absolutely. Again, that sacrifice didn't end them in death, but it was a sacrifice nonetheless. Part 1 absolutely has that with Williams and Pelly. I can't really say that for Caesar, because again, that came out of like revenge and everything.
Anyone else want to do another video?
What's the next video?
If they end up being like relatively short like this, I can go for another video. Probably just one more though.
What others videos we have?
Well, we went down 3. That's pretty tight. Let's see.
Can we watch why Watcher 7 is overrated? In A-list exists tech. Just posted. Can we watch video why Watcher 7 is overrated?
Where is that?
I will send now.
Just going through the list. Just going through the. Okay, that's pretty long, so I don't know if Ryder wants to do it.
How long is it?
20 minutes on the dots.
We'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
Several very funny moments, very funny points for me.
Well, it better be. Where there better be. There better be. That's what I. Right. I'm not very clever.
Neither we.
When you go back and read Water 7, beginning to end, fire. Water 7, perfect art to me. Water 7 is the perfect art.
Next up, we got Water 7. It's an easy S for me.
Me too.
Like it's an easy S.
I don't think I can.
Okay.
It's on max volume, sorry.
It might be quiet on this bit. It might get like actually louder when he gets to his actual video, since he seems to be covering other people's stuff.
Yes, like there's so much in Water 7. We could talk about Water 7 for 2 hours, honestly. Like
I could easily.
It's such a good arc, man.
Number 10. Water 7. Cracking the top 10, we have probably one of the darkest and most well-written arcs in the series. Water 7 brought an entirely new tone to One Piece, but one of the most notable aspects of Water 7 is that, in my opinion, it is the first arc to do the characters.
Wait, he put this on top 10 of a list of 10. So he put this as
20 arc.
He put this as the worst of a top 10 video. So why is he bringing this up?
I'm surprised that Grand Line put it at that low. I don't remember what else was in Grand Line review list.
I think he brought up.
Can I quickly watch what else was in?
I mean, you can do this on your own time. I really don't want to look at Grand Line review. This man is. I don't have respect for this man's opinion.
Why, he has like 5 videos of top 10 arcs. Like,
Fine, I'll look it up. You made a very compelling point. Hold up.
Top 9 is Simple Down. 8 is Sabaody. 7 is Return to Sabaody. 6 is Zou.
Why is Zou so high?
Wait.
Wait, what video was it?
Every arc in One Piece Ranked Part 2.
Oh.
Third one is Arnold Park.
Yeah, I see.
Second and first Marineford. Okay.
Wow, yeah, Marineford is first. Who saw that one coming?
I'm more surprised that Return to Sabaody is ranked 7 of arcs. Return to Sabaody, not Sabaody itself. Sabaody itself is lower. After post time skip, after time skip, first arc.
I don't know why he ranked it like that, but well, you do you, Grand Line Review, sir.
Go on. Stop any justice whatsoever.
However, no matter what you enjoy about One Piece, to this day I do not think there has been an arc that has as perfectly hit so many levels of what makes One Piece as Enies Lobby. To me, Enies Lobby is not only the ultimate representation of One Piece, it is arguably the best written arc in the entire series, and by the end of this video you may agree one of the best written storylines of any work you read.
Wouldn't it being the best written parts of One Piece automatically imply that it's the... I'm not even gonna paraphrase what he said, because that's a ridiculous point. Whatever.
Greetings! Whenever you see a video ranking the different arcs of the One Piece manga series, most of them commonly rank the arcs within the Water 7 saga very high. Additionally, you will find many video essays explaining why they think that Water 7 and Enies Lobby are two of the, if not the best arcs in all of One Piece. Since I never really understood why people hold particularly those arcs in such a high regard, I wanted to make a video pointing out some of the things that I perceived as flaws while reading the Water 7 saga. At the end of the introduction, I wanted to point out that this video is in no way intended to put hate on the manga series or people that like the Water 7 saga.
Cares. Get to your points.
One Piece is my favorite long-term manga series. I am sure that other arcs that I hold in high regard might be considered as overrated by you as well, but I am of course not offended by that. Views on stories can differ.
I'm just being annoying right now. Whatever. He's just bringing up his shields.
You can skip a minute.
Yeah.
I think he will be long about the shields.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Other perspectives that take things into account that I might have overlooked during my read-through of the material. The purpose of this video is not to spread hate, but to pose an I personally feel about it we did not even consider was possibly held by anyone out there. One Piece, after all, is a story about overcoming
Good lord, how much do you gotta say? Nothing. Just get to your point.
If I remember right, the first 7 minutes is synopsis of Water 7 and Skypiea.
The first 7 minutes is synopsis. What?
No wonder it's 20 minutes on the dot. This man literally has nothing to say.
Is he gonna recap all of Water 7 and Enies Lobby? Or is just Water 7 gonna be 7 minutes?
Only Water 7 and Skypiea.
Why Skypiea?
Because it will be his point.
Let's just get into the video.
Whenever I think of the One Piece story as a whole, I think of a common trope embodied by its main character. Luffy is someone who aims for the top of the world. From the very first chapter on, he very openly shows that his goal is to become the king of the pirates. He very commonly gets told that he will never succeed, and that it is simply impossible for him to become Pirate King. This can be seen, for example, at Luffy's first meeting with Koby. Koby was so limited in his thinking and never willing to take any risks in his life.
I don't know if we should, but should we skip the synopsis, considering how long it is?
Play it for a minute and then...
I agree for skipping.
I'll just skip through. I'll just skip through some parts.
life that he ended up serving on a pirate ship as a chore boy against his own will. He was simply shocked after he witnessed Luffy's courage and determination on his own, and people in this world that seem far beyond his scope and simply impossible to beat. For example, when he takes on Arlong, or tries to take on Crocodile in order to save Alabasta, or when he declares war on the world government, or when he casually threatens a Yonko. Pretty much each and every time he proves the people who doubt him wrong though. I think the best depiction of this trope can be found in the Skypiea saga, which is further encapsulated by the fictional quote presented at the very beginning of the saga. Everything that humans can imagine can happen in reality. The straw...
It's because of that? No, well, he said his main point. Why? It's just some paraphrase. That's it. It's just some paraphrase. Why is that one moment encapsulates Luffy's defiance of the... Defiance, yeah. Why does that one quote define Luffy's defiance? Couldn't it just be some kid from the Weakest Blue casually threatening one of the strongest pirates of the entire world? Wouldn't that be a better show of his defiant nature?
Sure.
I think the best depiction of this trope can be found in the Skypiea saga, which is further encapsulated by the fictional quote presented at the...
Which is further encapsulated, so I'm guessing this is at least one of the, if not the biggest points. So, I never thought about this, and now him bringing it up makes me think about it. And when I think about it, I just think how absurd this is. What he's saying.
He thinks that because of that moment where, like, when Blackbeard's speech about dreams.
You didn't bring it up yet. I'm just
I'm
just talking about this.
But it will be next. Like, oh, okay, go on.
It's just very specific that he chose this, apart from any other moment. I find it very confusing. How this encapsulates Luffy's defiant nature.
The very beginning of the saga. Everything that humans can imagine can happen in reality.
Okay, I think it's because it being put into words is how he thinks it best encapsulates Luffy's, well, carefree defiance nature, which I find that to be very disingenuous. No, I find that to be very disingenuous. I can't emphasize how much I find this bad. I wouldn't say bad, but this just screws over literally everything else that Luffy has done. Thinking just some words can encapsulate Luffy's character, or at least a character trait of Luffy, is... I mean, you see where I'm coming from. I don't know what to think about this. This is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Why would that sentence? It's because it was... Why Luffy specifically? Wouldn't the Jaya scene with Blackbeard be the biggest point? But it's not even specifically about Luffy's defiant attitude / personality trait. I gotta find a synonym for defiant, but good lord. I think I'm overthinking it, but I'm
He's overthinking it too.
Yeah, we're both overthinking it. Or maybe underthinking it, but whatever. I need to get this point over.
Everything that humans can imagine can happen in reality. The Straw Hats are further caught by surprise when their log post points upwards, towards a Sky Island. Luffy, of course, immediately gets excited and wants to visit Sky Island. Once the Straw Hats reach Jaya, a nearby island, in order to get intel on how to reach Sky Island, we get introduced to a few new characters, most notably Blackbeard and Bellamy. Bellamy is another pirate rookie, but contrasts Luffy in many ways. When Nami asks Bellamy whether he knows how to get to Sky Island, they get nothing but laughter in return. Bellamy explains that Sky Islands are nothing but a myth, and gives a logical and scientific explanation for all the reasons why the Straw Hats believe in them. Bellamy mocks Luffy for being a dreamer, and in believing the existence of something as ridiculous as Sky Islands, and even the pursuit of the One Piece. This is further shown by the name of the town they are in, Mocktown. The situation ends with Bellamy beating up Luffy and Zoro. Luffy and Zoro, however, don't fight back. The situation ends with
I was just looking at the Bellamy had a laughing onomatopoeia, and I'm looking at Burgess's laughing onomatopoeia, and they're not using their official laugh. You know what I meant.
With Bellamy beating up Luffy and Zoro. Luffy and Zoro, however, don't fight back since there is really no reason to do so. Bellamy to Luffy is so limited in his ideology, mocking everyone who pursues big dreams. He is simply not worth of fighting back. Ultimately, Luffy gets proven right. He eventually makes it to Skypiea, finds the City of Gold, beats an opponent that is deemed a god, and seemingly all matches ideological defeat after he witnessed himself that Sky Islands truly exist, and Luffy the Dreamer has been right all along. This further proves the quote at the beginning of the saga right. It really seems
one pause.
Yeah.
I
This
don't
was
like
for
how
everyone who skipped Skypiea.
I don't like how he goes into a lot of detail in Jaya. Well, he goes into a lot of detail on Jaya, but then he like skims over the events of Skypiea. In summary, I don't know. I don't like that.
He called it the Skypiea saga, so.
It was just like we get a lot of detail on like the interactions of what happened in Jaya, but it's just like, oh, Skypiea, Luffy defeats the thing, moving on. Then he's. We're also covering the fact that we're talking about Skypiea in a Water 7 video.
The Skypiea arc. I mean, saga.
In a
Skypiea saga.
I don't know why he just retold it. Like if I'm watching Water 7 video, I should have known the story of Skypiea. Like if I didn't skip it.
The Skypiea saga, which encompasses Jaya and Skypiea. Also, he didn't bring up crickets. I find that interesting. Also, why does... I already know his points. He's bringing up, hey, this is Luffy defying the common norm and the odds and all this stuff. But in Water 7, he just shoots down a flag. That might be what he's gonna bring up, something or other. But, hey, we'll see what point he actually makes when the entire 7-minute synopsis gets broken down.
Like, in the world of One Piece, everything that humans can imagine can happen in reality. If there is a will, there always is a way as well. At the beginning of the Water 7 arc, the Straw Hats are faced with a problem. Their ship, the Going Merry, is heavily damaged and needs to be repaired. Furthermore, they want to acquire a shipwright for their crew. Luckily, the next island, Water 7, is known for their great shipwrights. Iceberg, the mayor of the city and owner of the Galela company, is even called the best shipmaker. Unfortunately, they get told that it is impossible to fix their ship, and that even if they patched it up, the Straw Hats would not be able to make it to the next islands, since the keel is broken. The Galilag members suggest them to buy a new ship, especially since the Going Merry is not suited for the tough waters of the Grand Line.
What? Wait, hold up. NMA. The ship has outlived its life. But I mean, they're trying to do Iceberg's speech, not speech impediments. His vocal quirk, I think that's the word. You know, like in the anime, it goes like, well, something like that. But here it's a little awkward.
In English, though?
No,
or in Japanese?
No, he has it in both. He has a vocal quirk where he lingers on a word in Japanese.
I never watched anime, so not really know.
Point is, this is a weird way of translating his vocal quirk in English.
Luffy at first protests, which causes Iceberg to doubt his qualities as a captain, which causes Luffy in turn to change perspective and reconsider buying a new ship instead of repairing the Going Merry. Just let that sink in after what we have heard about Luffy and the world of One Piece as a whole in the previous section. Luffy, the person who never accepts it when someone deems something as impossible.
What the Oh, hell no. This is already getting a dislike. Do you guys see what he's trying to say?
Yeah, like, yeah.
His stubbornness has been challenged, and he was needing to change. But in Water 7 and Jaya and Skypiea, he didn't change his stubbornness. So this is supposed to be a negative for Water 7? That his stubbornness was challenged and he had to change?
So is Sabaody bad because Luffy told everyone to run instead of fight Kuma?
From what I'm getting from this...
Is Marineford bad because Jinbei and everyone else took Luffy out of the fight rather than let him keep fighting?
Technically didn't have a choice.
Which makes it worse than that now.
Good Lord.
According to this logic.
What the hell's wrong with you? What's wrong with this video? No wonder he brought up that shield. That freaking massive kite shield the size of Manhattan. Times Square, whatever. Empire State Building, that's what I was trying to say.
Which causes Luffy in turn to change perspective and reconsider buying a new ship instead of repairing the Going Merry. Just let that sink in after what we have heard about Luffy and the world of One Piece as a whole in the previous section. Luffy, the person who never accepts it when someone deems something as impossible. Luffy, the person who never takes no for an answer. Luffy, the person who wants to become the Pirate King despite everyone saying that he has no chance at all to actually achieve it. This very same Luffy just accepts that their ship is unfixable in a world where there are numerous fruits that give you unimaginable power. In a world where it is possible.
Oh my god, that's not the point. Oh, it's a projector, not a screen? What? Whatever. He accepts it because they're experts. Bellamy was saying something that he thinks is real. It was accepting something that you know is true to people not is dreamers versus fat. No, then he brought up Bellamy using facts and science and saying why Skypiea wouldn't be real. But then again, Luffy has a map to Skypiea, Bellamy did try to wave it away, but I mean, it's a map to Skypiea, a map of Skypiea. This is not the same. It's evidence against a non-dreamer. This is not the same. Oh. Also, this point is also completely irrelevant, considering that the ship actually did break down when it got to Water 7. Not impel down. Whatever. When it actually traveled to the next island, it broke down.
Yeah, at the end of Water 7, Mary was breaking apart, so this point is invalid because the shipwrights were confirmed correct. Mary was broken beyond repair.
But Going Mary did arrive to Ennis Lobby and came back, so what I said.
True, the Mary did do that, but it broke down midway.
No, but funny stuff. It's his future point.
And only because the shipwrights did everything they could to help it make sure it would be strong enough to do one more trip.
This is not the same. This man is dumb.
One of these things is not like the other.
It's the simple fact of Bellamy not being a dreamer. That's what irked him. This is the ship confirmed, unable to sail. He's not that dumb to just ignore the facts, especially when it's something important to him. I mean, sometimes he does ignore the facts, but it's more of a confidence rather than ignoring logic. Overconfidence rather than ignoring logic.
Just accepts that their ship is unfixable in a world where there are numerous fruits that give you unimaginable power.
That's a ridiculous point, and I shouldn't have to explain it. Which I'm still gonna explain it. This is completely disconnected to the entire argument.
In a world where it is possible to artificially create said fruits, a world
Science exists. Ooh, science.
In which some people possess the ability to control space itself and make other people immortal.
That falls under your devil fruits comparison.
A world in which people are able to create perfect cyborgs
Science. You already brought up the scientific points.
That can fire laser beams. A world in which one can become whatever the hell Queen even is.
I hope this isn't spoiling anyone. I'm also glad I was able to see this before I got spoiled.
It's not spoilers, I know how dinosaurs work, so...
The greatest panel in all of One Piece.
Just typical dinosaur stuff.
True ancient power of the dinosaur.
This is the way the ancient dinosaurs hunted. Is it? No.
Whatever the hell Queen even is. A world in which humans can be cloned, and there are several ways to turn islands into ships. A world in
How is that? You just bring a bunch of land onto some wood. How is that some sort of logic gap? No, what is this point? Actually, when I think about it. Because it's not like it's not like Luffy denounced devil fruits or says science hasn't gone so far that clone technology shouldn't exist. No, what's your point here?
His point is just if we have devil fruits, vampires, technology, why they just can't repair Going Merry? Easy.
Because Luffy actually sees and believes that the Going Merry is well, okay, I'm not sure if he actually saw Merry as that level of broken, but he knows the Merry is broken. This isn't believing or not believing if something can or can't happen. It's knowing that it can't happen and Luffy trying to accept it. This is not the same thing.
Humans can be cloned, there are several ways to turn islands into ships. A world in which Blackbeard sails the Grand Line on a literal raft.
It's a big-ass raft. It's not the same. Though the raft has cannonballs in it. I don't know how much time or money is into that, but it should relatively be cheap cutting that. Actually, where does he get the logs? No, whatever. It can be explained, but that's beyond the point.
Mihawk in a coffin, and Ace on a modified surfboard. I think I don't really have to explain how this very crucial plot point of the Water 7 saga not only seems very weird, given the technological advancements of the One Piece world, but also completely out of character for Luffy, and contradicting the entire message the last saga wanted to provide, and One Piece as a whole story is arguably built upon.
The ship was broken. Also,
also
they explained why they couldn't fix the ship.
I don't understand.
Also, I don't like how he used. Also, I don't like how he used the. I shouldn't have to explain things. Yes, you should, because most people would say no. This is the dumb point. You should have to explain why this is out of character. Why you feel this is out of character when evidence shows this isn't out of character for Luffy.
Plus,
this video.
Plus, he initially said he didn't believe it. He changed his mind after that. It wasn't like a flip-flop. So, whatever. It's called character. And I don't think this guy understands Luffy's character. Also, what were we going to say, Million?
I wanted to say that he don't understand that if a ship has a broken major part, like bottom, and if they will just replace it, it will be just a new ship. It wouldn't count as repairman. Go on.
This world, but also completely out of character for Luffy, and contradicting the entire message the last saga wanted to provide, and One Piece as a whole story is arguably built upon. Usopp, who was at the very same time robbed and beat up by the Frankie family, has a special connection to the Going Merry, since it was a gift from his friend, Kaya, from his home village. So he is especially interested in saving the Merry. Not knowing about the newest developments, he tries a desperate attempt to get the money back he lost, since he is so ashamed about his weakness, but ultimately gets beaten up again. Back at the Going Merry, Usopp tells the crew that he is very ashamed that he lost the money, and asks whether it is possible to fix the Merry even with the money that's left. Luffy tells him with a bright smile on his face that they are going to abandon the Going Merry and buy a new ship, and that he even has the catalog right by his side. Usopp, understandably, is confused, since to him it does seem like Luffy just casually wants to abandon the Going Merry, the ship that he so dearly loves. He asks whether or not it is because they don't have enough money. Only then, when the argument is very heated already, Luffy starts to explain to Usopp why he wants to buy a new ship. With explain, I mean that he screams into Usopp's face that the Merry is going to die.
I mean, he was explaining it, even if he was screaming. So I don't know what point you tried to say by reevaluating your sentence, whatever.
Please keep in mind that it later turns out that the Merry is a conscious being. Luffy says nobody can fix it, no matter what. Usopp calls Luffy out on listening to strangers and that the Merry is a friend and part of the crew. And who
Deflecting, sir. It's called deflecting.
Who are those shipwrights to say that it is not possible to save the Merry?
Okay. Wait, telling me some guy and an entire island of well-trained and expert. I'm not gonna. Just hear what he says.
You might say now that the Galila workers are experts in their field,
Yes.
and that they know all about carpeting and shipbuilding.
Yes.
But if you really think about it, Iceberg and the other Galila workers seem very similar to Bellamy from Jaya.
No.
Both deem something as impossible and give plausible scientific reasons. But in reality, they are nothing but small-minded people. They are nothing but fishes in a goldfish bowl that think that they have everything figured out. Life.
Pause.
Yes.
Oh, I can't believe he's saying, oh, the small-minded members of Galila, the people who know what they're doing with ships. They're small-minded because they don't know that the ship is broken, even though it's broken.
The thing with Bellamy is he wasn't a dreamer. He didn't believe in something as lavish, and so he falls onto scientific exclamations. And sure, you could say it's similar, but then you have to say the map of Skypiea and the actual exclamation of how the ship couldn't be repaired are also the same.
Bellamy's just cynical. Galila's not. They're praising the ship. If you take your car to a mechanic and they're like, your car's broken, it's like, no, you don't believe in Sky Islands. This is the argument that's happening right now.
You don't have the same connection to my car as some guy who's telling me that the entire engine block is missing.
You just don't believe enough.
This is a ridiculous correlation. He's getting basic information wrong.
Fishes in a goldfish bowl that think that they have everything figured out. Life for them is nothing but a small bowl of water in a bedroom, while they are unable to see beyond the immediate and even imagine the vast bodies of water in the seas. Why do I think that? Iceberg, who is supposedly the best shipwright in the world, is completely surprised when the Mary speaks to him and begs him to fix it, and he cannot believe it. Even after the Mary talks to him multiple times, he acts as if it was just his imagination and ridiculed himself for even trying to fix the ship. When Usopp tells Frankie about his Klabautermann experience, Frankie admits that this is the first time that he meets someone who witnessed it. Not to mention that the Mary, even though the Galila workers, as well as Frankie, guaranteed that there's no chance at all for the Mary to make it to the next island, even if they try their best to fix it, the Mary still survived the Aqua Laguna and literally made it to the next island after only a very rudimentary repair by Iceberg. So you could say that the story has proven the Galila workers to be not only wrong about the Mary, but being very ignorant about the actual possibilities of this world as well.
Counter arguments? It broke down midway through the ocean.
Yeah, this whole entire video is broken by the fact that Mary does break. If Mary didn't break, his point would be justified, but Mary does break, so his whole argument is built off one really bad point. His argument is as broken as Mary.
That's the awful truth.
Galila is from this standpoint not any different from Bellamy. Also, I find
They're professionals. It would be more comparable if, like, Bellamy was some adventurer slash explorer, sort of like Nolan. And out of all his years and or knowledge of exploration and world knowledge, he deduced that Skypiea couldn't exist. But no, it's just some, in your words, up-and-comer pirates explaining the realism. I mean, explaining how a Sky Island couldn't exist. Also, this is off. Also, Bellamy based this off of people also being unable to go to Sky Islands, which is probably all from Mocktown. Failed dreamers and adventurers who couldn't get to the place. This is bad.
I find it interesting how the roles for Luffy have suddenly switched. Normally it is always him not giving up and trying everything despite the chances and the others telling him that it is not possible to achieve what he wants, and especially does everything to save his crewmates. In this case, however, it is Usopp.
No, it's still the case. You just have to face facts and accept that this really is the end for the Mary. It did happen. It's just that Usopp is being unreasonable and illogical. While the Skypiea example, like I said, they have a map of Skypiea, so there is at least evidence that it exists. This isn't comparable, that's what I'm saying.
Usopp, who does not want to give up fighting for a crewmate despite the low chance of success. To top it off, Luffy, in the heat of the argument...
There was no chance of success, actually. He said a flat 0. So, he's literally defying logic. Usopp is.
Despite the low chance of success. To top it off, Luffy, in the heat of the argument, tells Usopp to leave if he does not agree with his decision. This as well, to me, seems incredibly out of character for Luffy. The very same guy that goes to all those lengths to rescue and save his crewmates, in several arcs not only does not really try to save a crewmate, the Going Merry, but he even tells Usopp to leave the crew if he disagrees with this decision. Consider now how Nami...
It was in the heat of the moments. I mean... challenging the captain is not a thing you should do. And he's within his duties as captain to say that.
Also, as you said, it's a very emotional moment since Luffy definitely doesn't actually want to, even though he says he wants to get rid of the Mary.
That too.
Nami treated Luffy during Arlong Park. Despite all of that, Luffy stayed calm and collected, and he did not tell her just to leave the crew. Not to mention how thick his skin was when Sanji defected from the crew, but of course this happened much later in the story, and Luffy has grown much during the time in between. Now Usopp opens up about his insecurity.
What? You're telling me Luffy grew? As in changed? I wonder why. I wonder what evidence I could bring up to say that his growth was being measured.
Maybe this moment right here.
Right here! And right...
Yeah!
And right... And right here! And right about... here! And here. About those moments is where I can say his character was changing.
Look at that progression.
But of course this happened much later in the story, and Luffy has grown much during the time in between. Now Usopp opens up about his insecurities. He feels like he just can't keep up with the superpowers of the other Straw Hats. He feels like he's dead weight to the crew, especially after he got beat up twice by some gangsters and lost a lot of money. He feels like the Going Merry parallels him. Not only did they join the crew at the same time, but they also both seem too weak to continue the journey. He feels like Luffy just leaves behind the crewmates that he deems useless. Now the Mary, and inevitably someday him as well, so he might just leave now. And what does Luffy answer to this? You might think he would tell Usopp.
I'm just gonna say he contradicted himself because he's saying exactly what I was saying about the Usopp moments.
What an important asset to the crew he really is, and that he does not want him to leave. But no, he just has no answer to Usopp whatsoever. He does not fight to keep Usopp in his crew. We know what he did when Nami, Robin or Sanji defected. He risked his life to get them back. Usopp
Because they didn't want to defect, they had to. Because of outside forces. This was him willingly leaving. This is different. You're not reading the story, person. The ship looks the ship looks servable to me. You just didn't believe in the ship. I'm looking at the Titanic GIF right now, Ryder.
I'm thinking about if his points would be like, for example, Marineford. If Luffy believed that Ace survived, will he survive?
Yeah, that's the. No. He didn't think Ace was gonna survive. He saw Ace having a gaping hole in his chest, and was mourning. No wait, I actually don't remember what per se he actually said, but if we're going by what you just said, then yeah. Why is Ace dead? Luffy can just believe or defy death and say Ace is gonna live through this. It's just a flesh wound or something along that line. Why does this guy? Why is he bringing this up? He should know this is wrong.
Usopp, however, is not granted any effort whatsoever in order to be kept as part of the crew. Of course, after this, a very epic fight between Luffy and Usopp takes place, and I have to admit, it makes me cry every time I read it. And don't get me wrong, I really like the idea of the Straw Hats getting into a heavy conflict with each other. I really like the scene. But the way we got there just felt so artificial and weird and not One Piece-like at all.
Reading the goddamn manga wrong. That's what you were doing.
Despite all of what happened, Usopp still helps the Straw Hats by creating a second persona to free Robin from the CP9 and invade Enies Lobby. At the end, however, the Mary comes on its own to save the asses of the very same people that previously wanted to abandon it. It turns out that all those expert shipwrights were wrong. They said there's no chance for it to sail to the next island, but it not only managed to survive the Aqua Laguna, one of the most dangerous currents of the Grand Line, it even made it all the way to another island, Enies Lobby, with just a very rudimentary repair by Iceberg, even though the sea was still very turbulent. But it not only were wrong. They said there's no chance for it to sail to the next island, but it not only managed to survive the Aqua Laguna, one of the most dangerous currents of the Grand Line, it even made it all the way to another island, Enies Lobby, with just a very rudimentary repair by Iceberg, even though the sea was still very turbulent. He even admits that he has never in his life seen such an amazing ship. Unfortunately, the Mary cracks apart and has to be burned at sea. In the post-water...
So you were wrong? Damn, who saw that one coming? Unless you're saying... Well, unless you're saying that the ship being unable to sail to the next island was the problem. In which case, you didn't bring that up, and that's not the point. He's currently lying.
7 arc, the remaining Straw Hats argue about Usopp's return to the crew. Sanji saw Usopp rehearsing for his return at the coast. Luffy immediately wants to welcome Usopp back to the crew, but Zoro insisted that Usopp must apologize, otherwise he would not accept him back, and even threatens to leave the crew. He wants his leader to be a person of dignity, a person who he can respect. Leaving the crew, according to him, should be considered a big thing, and Usopp has to apologize no matter who was right in the argument. And this is where the whole thing gets sadistically perverted for me.
Sadistically perverted. You hear that, guys? What the hell is his problem? Didn't he read the manga or not?
I mean, he's showing panels on screen, but he could just be showing panels on screen. We don't know if he actually read it. He could have wikied it.
Okay. He read. He actually read the thing. I'm just saying that because he's getting the, well, story wrong and character motives.
It might have been a while when since he read it, and then he's found the images for it, and his memory's not as fresh. Like, he's not reread it since. Maybe. That might be where we're going wrong here.
That's fine, I guess, but he's associating a lot. He's associating a lot with these characters.
Or maybe he read an incorrect translation, like an early translation, and the translation he's posting now is more correct.
So he read 3 or 4 arcs of bad translated material? Because it's Jaya, Skypiea, Water 7, and I keep on forgetting the other island.
Enies Lobby.
Enies Lobby. So he read 4 arcs of bad material? Because...
Potentially, that's the...
Well, I'll take back everything I said if that's the case. Okay, not everything.
Well, I don't know. It could be the case because it's the most reasonable answer for why he's not understanding the story incorrectly. Because I don't want to say he's just not reading the story incorrectly. No, he can clearly read. It's just...
You know,
it's a fair
just he interprets the story too much. Like, there are people like that. They just see the story only that way, and only, like, being very biased.
True, but Luffy didn't want a new ship. But after defeating the Frankie family, he thought it over and said, yeah, we need a new ship. So that was clearly character development. And
But he did mention that.
No, he didn't. He did not.
He did mention that Luffy was hesitant, and after he changed his mind.
But he didn't say it was character development.
Yeah, he did.
Plus,
But because for him, it was out of character.
No, he changed his character. There was points in the story where you saw him changing. So it would have been believable that he would come to the conclusion.
Just a bit.
Am I wrong on that?
No, you're right. You're right.
Okay, let's say that Luffy saying that they need a new ship was out of character. In the beginning, he didn't want a new ship. So why didn't he bring up the fact that he didn't want a new ship, at least more often? Saying something like, oh, this betrays Luffy's character, and why would he say this thing, but then change his mind from it? That would have been a perfect thing to press his points. Did you say something, Million?
It's disingenuous.
You didn't want to be disingenuous?
No, it was disingenuous.
Oh.
The crew, according to him, should be considered a big thing, and Usopp has to apologize no way the crew not accept him back and even threatens to leave the crew. He wants his leader to be a person of dignity, a person who he can respect. Leaving the crew, according to him, should be considered a big thing, and Usopp has to apologize no matter who was right in the argument. And this is where the whole thing gets sadistically perverted for me. Zoro demands that Usopp humiliates himself publicly to the bone in order to be accepted back for defecting. And this even though the story has proven him right. We have all just seen that the Mary is a
He still left the crew. I mean, true or not, the captain word is law, and he still has to join back to the crew for the sake of the, crew. Also, he didn't.
Yeah, those are.
Usopp to be undignified.
Yeah, these are two separate points, even though they are connected. That it's not as strong. They are two separate events that tie into each other. So, yeah, as you said, Usopp does have to earn his place back, even
if he was right.
The Mary did come back. But it ultimately doesn't matter because the Mary. Sorry.
Even if he was right, he would still have to apologize and go back onto the ship. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and even then, the Mary still wrote. Usopp wasn't correct. Usopp was just less wrong.
Freaking... Jesus.
perverted for me. Zoro demands that Usopp humiliates himself publicly to the bone in order to be accepted back for defecting. And this even though the story has proven him right. We have all just seen that the Mary is a conscious being, and the real Nakama, not a simple object. Luffy wanting to leave the Mary behind is literally Luffy wanting to leave a Nakama behind. Zoro explicitly states that he does not care about who was right. He only cared about defection of the crew being treated as a serious issue and his captain containing his dignity. Now guess how many of the other people that left the crew periodically.
Oh yeah, this is where he's trying to, because Sanji and Nami left. Again, he's missing the point, so I'll let him talk and say that he's wrong.
Had to get through the same amount of humiliation as Usopp. Nobody. Guess how often Zoro insisted upon the defected member apologizing? Not a single time. Nami, Robin as well as Sanji, who all left the crew and insulted Luffy as well, were all welcomed back very quickly. Usopp has to back on
said, missing the point, they didn't want to leave, so on and so forth.
his knees in order to be welcomed back. Something makes me think that Zoro has this enormous hate boner for Usopp even more than for Sanji. Not to mention that Zoro does the very same thing as Usopp, using leaving the crew as leverage for changing the plan of the captain. The only difference is that Usopp had a real reason and Zoro just a false sense of pride that he never applied in any of these similar cases.
Right, because he gets the story wrong. Yeah, right, I forgot.
What is happening here?
What?
What y'all watching?
Hello, Kaiser. We're just watching a YouTuber named Early Life Crisis talk about why Water 7 is overrated.
Okay. How's that going?
Oh, it's pretty bad. It's very bad, I'll say.
What? Nah, man, come on.
Man,
what? Come on.
Let me. Why are you trying to sound sarcastic? It's the truth.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You literally have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I'm joking, but yeah, okay.
Anyway,
what were some like highlight arguments this guy has said?
Usopp leaving the crew is a betrayal to the main theme of One Piece.
And I'm hoping that he explained how that is.
He did, but the exclamation is incorrect.
Oh, well, let me guess. Oh, it's about friendship, and he left the friendship so bad. Is that it? Is that? Am I in the ballpark here?
Just about.
Well, the more point of the video is that Luffy doesn't abandon his friends. He abandoned the Merry. Therefore, this is a bad point. That's like the biggest argument of the video.
Yeah, and not to mention that. Go ahead.
And also that if Luffy just truly believed, and then going Merry will be okay.
Oh yeah, man. You know, ships don't break down. You know, that doesn't happen.
It's not like the story just said there's a 0% chance
because
of the ship surviving.
Yeah, it's not like they were like.
Okay,
I'm guessing they were running out of resources at that time to do so, anyways, as well, right? Like even if it could be fixed, it's not like they were able to do so at the time.
No, that's not a. They were able to fix the ship, just not the underbelly. I forget what it's called. But let me rephrase that. It's not that. Okay. Kaku specifically said there was a 0% chance of the Merry traveling to the next island. But, as you know, the Merry did travel to the next island. And he brought that up, saying that the story contradicted... I guess the story did contradict itself, and the Merry did travel to the next island. Which, okay... He was wrong about that, but the idea was the Merry was unable to travel like a regular ship. It's on its last legs.
Yeah.
It broke down in the middle of the sea.
Right, and even if you would argue that, like, okay, yeah, you know, the Merry still being able to go there is a flaw. Like, I don't have the proper context for it because it's been fucking ages since I even saw a single episode of One Piece, so I'm gonna give this dude that. Even if you argue that all Luffy and the others knew were that the Merry was on its last legs. So both Luffy's and Usopp's reaction, from what I can remember, makes sense to everyone but this person, apparently, I guess. I don't know.
You got it down. Pretty much got it down. Let's see.
Also, for another argument of the video, we have Luffy does believe in Skypiea, but Bellamy doesn't. This is equivalent to the Galilor saying that the ship is unrepairable, but Luffy should believe it to be because he believed in Skypiea.
Hey, god damn it. And dude, explaining why this point is bad is like explaining why water is wet. It simply is, okay.
The biggest point we made of like why this point doesn't work is that when Ace died, Luffy should just believe that he'll be fine. It's the same logic.
He'll walk it off.
It's the same logic. Yeah. It's effectively the same logic. I mean, it's not that.
He should have just.
It's not even that. He specifically said traversing to the next island, which of course the ship did go to the next island. But that's not the point of what Kaku said. Is that the ship is unrepairable. It's on its last legs. He's misreading the
even if
context.
it could make it to the island, it probably wouldn't have made it to Skypiea anyway. So, what the shit? And but like the main thing that's wrong with that freaking trying to draw the whole Skypiea thing and that together in order to suss out a contradiction there. The issue with that is that one has to do directly. The reason why Skypiea is something that Luffy believed in, and not in regards to like Mary's recovery, is number one, he's not a fucking shipwright, like that's not his area of expertise. He's a punchy fighting exploring man. He doesn't do that shit. But more importantly, knowing that Skypiea even exists is important for him because it's a landmark on his way to attain his ultimate goal. That's the thing, right?
Well, he just wanted to go to Skypiea.
Well, yeah. He also just wanted to go there. Which, hey, if it really wasn't there, then it wouldn't have really cost them all that much compared to if the ship broke down in the middle of the water and they all fucking died. So, yeah.
Also, this is a video about Water 7. He spends like 5 minutes talking about Skypiea.
Oh, yeah. I was noticing that too. It's like, okay, I was about to ask, did this guy, like, say anything about Water 7?
Eventually.
And how much time does he spend on it? Because I see that this video is about 20-ish minutes?
20 exact minutes.
Alright, 20 minutes exactly. So, out of those minutes, how much time does he spend on, like, Water 7?
I'll do a rough estimate and say up to
13 minutes.
6 minutes and 24 seconds, about there.
Damn.
And given that this video is only about Water 7, given that he talks about things that are in the arc afterwards, that means he spends less than that amount of time actually talking about Water 7 by itself.
2 minutes of opinion shield. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the opinion shield as well.
Oh my god.
This video didn't have. This video doesn't feel as aggressively stupid as the last one, but getting through it now, this is the worst video we've covered tonight.
Practically. I mean, at the very least, the other video was saying stuff that was in the story.
I think the best depiction of this trope can be found actually threatens a Yonko. Pretty much each and every time he proves the people who doubt him wrong though. I think the best forces and people in this world that seem far beyond his scope and simply impossible to beat. For example, when he takes that seem far beyond his changed his life for the better and allowed him to pursue dreams of his own. Additionally, Luffy very regularly gets into conflict with forces and people in this world that seem far beyond his scope and simply impossible to beat. For example, when he takes on Arlong, or tries to take on Crocodile in order to save Alabasta, or when he declares war on the world government, or when he casually threatens a Yonko. Pretty much each and every time he proves the people who doubt him wrong though. I think the best depiction of this trope can be found in the Skypiea saga, which is further encapsulated by the fictional quote presented at the very beginning of the saga. Everything that humans can imagine can happen in reality. These
just take that literally. I mean, it's extremist extreme. Yeah, take it to its
like, bro, and also, wait a minute. I had like a funny thought that really contradicts like him saying that, oh, Luffy not believing in the Mary is bad, but he believed in Skypiea. Or better yet, like the thing that really contradicts like his point about Usopp and how him leaving contradicts the theme of One Piece about fucking friendship, right? So you have Spider-Man, right? Then Spider-Man is about with true power, with great power comes great responsibility. But so anytime Peter is irresponsible, which is quite a bit in many of his stories, if not most of them. I guess they're all bad because he's not responsible in them all the time.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that actually is a good point. You have to like bring up the negative example of the scenario so that like the lesson can be learned.
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole it's almost as if it's called
when you go back
freaking
and read Water
character
7,
conflict.
You just didn't believe in the Mary enough. That's it.
Yeah. Ace died because he didn't believe he'd be okay. Oh man.
Belmere died because Nami didn't believe she could tank that bullet hard enough.
I think Noji.
Red Leg Zeph should have
then.
believed his leg better.
Freaking Usopp should have believed that his mother shouldn't die from that illness.
Oh fuck.
Dr. Hiruluk should have believed that the poison wouldn't have killed him.
Oh, but it didn't kill him.
Yeah, he didn't.
You think some poison, a bullet, or a bomb will kill a man? No. Hiruluk is the living embodiment. You should be talking about Hiruluk and not some line of dialogue, some fictional pirate. Some line.
Yeah.
This joke's
Whitebeard should have just tanked all his injuries.
Listen, he just kissed all of his boo-boos and that made it better, okay?
Zoro does the very same thing as Usopp, using leaving the crew as leverage for changing the plan of the captain. The only difference is that Usopp had a real reason and Zoro just a false sense of pride that he never applied in any of these similar cases.
He's talking about Nami and Sanji leaving the crew. Usopp left the crew, and so it's the same, which it isn't the same.
No. I barely remember that scene as is, but no.
Overall, of course, there's a lot to like about Water 7. The fight between Luffy and Usopp is awesome. The idea of the Straw Hats have...
Yeah, but from what you said, the reason why they even fought was horrendous. So shouldn't that fight be, ass?
No. I'm guessing that like he's not crediting the story behind the fight. He's giving credit. And then on.
So fine.
Geography or the way that went, the strategy and all that shit.
I guess that's fine, but
I'm guessing that's what he would mean because that's the only thing that would make sense.
I guess so, but from what I can get from this video, the reason why they fought would take the overall fight down a few notches. So,
and oh my god.
Even with that criteria in mind, he still finds it...
Like I know I freaking banged my hammer loudly while I was steel manning this dude's argument, but Jesus.
It is getting a bit late. I am getting a bit tired. So yeah.
The fight between Luffy and Usopp is awesome. The idea of the Straw Hats having to go through internal conflict is very cool as well. There are a lot of scenes that make you cry. But the way all of this is achieved, to me seems artificial, kind of cheap, and contradictory to the overall message that was built up for hundreds of chapters beforehand and the personality of Luffy. It is the first time we hear about the overarching enemy of the story, the world government. In the post-Water 7 arc, we also find out about the Yonko as well as the Revolutionary Army. And this, of course, I can appreciate. Now,
well, technically we already knew about the Revolutionary Army with Dragon's introduction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he said it was Revolutionary Dragon.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is Water 7 truly overrated? Is it contradicting Luffy's character and an important trope of the entirety of the manga? Or am I just wrong?
Oh yeah, good point. Just because it's a trope and Luffy believes in it doesn't mean the trope, which now that I think about it, this isn't a trope. It's more like a theme. But forget about that. Luffy can just grow out of it or change the quote-unquote trope. So it's not like it's set in stone or something.
Well, the story is bad. Fuck you.
Also, he's doing the thing of he's got a confident video title of like why Water 7 is overrated.
And think. I want to hear what you think. Let's have a drink. Let's have some coffee. You know, let's have some cookies, and you tell me what I think. After I made a video calling you a goddamn idiot.
Yeah, it's also more the deflective shield. It's like it's just my opinion, guys. Come on. It's not like I'm insulting the thing you enjoy and calling and saying.
Well, okay. All right. I'm gonna be charitable here. Granted, this is me not knowing the rest of the video, but has this guy just been criticizing the story, or was he actively insulting people who liked it or something?
No, he didn't insult anyone.
No insults, but he did throw up a lot of shields. We did get 2 minutes of it's just my opinion.
Oh, that's lovely.
Not exactly bad.
We also not insulting the audience, but he did compare Galilor to their basically goldfish in a small bowl compared to the knowledge of the rest of the world. So if you like Galilor, you could consider that insulting those characters if you like them.
Yeah, Jesus.
Why didn't he bring up Noland? A Noland would, it's basically a parallel to Bellamy. So I don't see why he couldn't just bring up Cricket as to boost his arguments or something.
He didn't brought up Robin too, if you think about it.
Also, you go ahead.
No.
I think he said to bring up Robin because she didn't believe in the crew until, they came for her and burned down the government flag.
Oh yeah, that too. I know. Yeah, the video's about to end. Let's just move on.
No matter what that this video is, the guy made this video isn't smart.
Yes, or at least he didn't read the actual story.
Well, I was going to say. Oh yeah, I remember the other point I was going to bring up. At the start of the video, he brings up a list of people saying Water 7 is obviously a good arc. So I'm not sure. Well, okay, it's more to bring. I feel it's more to bring the point. I don't know what was the actual point of that, other than showing that a lot of people think it's good.
You see,
I don't know if there was.
It, therefore, it's overrated, or rated higher.
Yeah, but if there's any other hidden intentions, it's I don't really know if it is. Yeah, a lot of people like it.
When people make that, I guess, sort of disclaimer-ish thing in the beginning of videos, the intention behind it all depends on the way that disclaimer is portrayed, if that makes any sense, right? Because it can be used as a sort of framing to basically entail that, hey, you understand that I'm going to be pretty contentious here with this. It's not like I don't understand why people like it, and then the rest of the video should at the very least speak to it honestly, right? And just be consistent with that framework without being too hammy with how you're just shitting on that audience, if anything else, if that makes any sense, right? But where it can get obnoxious, or where it can get, I guess, sort of backhanded or two-faced, is when you kind of when you go the high top route, where you say, "Oh, all this is my opinion," and then you go on to just like make all of these normative claims about the story and characters, and just like obviously say shit that is just so wrong to any audience member, like what he said about, "Hey, we don't care about why Steve is back in the Wonder Wommans." It's like, wait, what the fuck, what?
Who's this we? Because it certainly ain't me.
Think, please leave it in the comments below, so I too can profit from your unique perspective on the story. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Well, at least he didn't ask us to like, subscribe, and hit that bell twice in the video, like one of those other guys.
Listen, I'm not hating on the struggle, okay? It is what it is.
Yeah, but do they need to do it twice? Like at the start of the video and then at the end? Like, if you're gonna do it just like once, it's fine. We're not gonna forget that you told us to like and subscribe, especially since there is a button right there.
I mean, apparently saying it does boost the subscriber counts, but yeah, twice as much.
Yeah. Especially if you're not clever about it. Yeah, like, say if, I don't know, fucking somebody who's charismatic or has like a good production value with their video quality, like say Leon Lush, for example, like says like, comment, subscribe like more than once in the video, I wouldn't mind it because he's good at making that entertaining, and it doesn't. And when he does it at the end, usually it is in a way that doesn't break the flow, anyways. So I would be fine with that. Yeah, in almost literally every other case, just no.
I think I'm gonna call it for me tonight.
I got you.
Yeah. It was good to be back on one of these.
Sorry, I actually gotta go too. There's something I need to do in a few minutes, and I just wanted to pop in and see what you guys are doing. I'll see you guys later.
I'm feeling very awake. Okay. Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Well, I guess that's a wrap. We should really do these more often. Well, at least I want to.